with what's happening in the market this year. Get in touch with us today. Legacy's family of funds has a limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or legacyg.com. That's legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investment performance based on the average return of LFO1, LFO2, and LSF from 2007 through the date of calculation and after deduction of fees and expenses. Legacy family of funds investments are available to accredited investors only.
You gotta love baseball season. But when it comes to your windows, you don't want any curveballs. Rick Riz here, reminding you to trust your clubhouse with locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Experience the difference with high-quality products, expert installation, and top-notch customer service. It's always a home run with Pella. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Just go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Having quality care matters. So, let's talk about it. Nobody likes not feeling their best, but it's comforting to know top local doctors are nearby when you need one. Optum Care Washington is here with exceptional primary and specialty care, from OBGYN and family medicine to urology and gastroenterology. We also accept most Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, with over 45 Puget Sound locations, Optum offers peace of mind close to school, work, and home. Discover all the ways Optum is here for you at yourhealthwa.com.
Hi, welcome to Staples.
Yeah, my daughter needs a laptop for college, but I need to watch the budget.
Well, Staples hot deals on tech are backed by a price match guarantee, so our prices won't be beat.
Great. I can't believe my baby's starting college.
She'll do great.
I know.
Oh, let's get you a great deal on a laptop.
Save big on tech for school at Staples. Now get up to $300 off select PCs. NC24 price match guarantee valid within 14 days of purchase. Exclusions apply. For details, visit staples.com/price match.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Diving stop by Blanco. Underhand flip to Rivas at second one. The relay to first is in time for the double play. An amazing double play.
You're listening to 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Georgia is number one in the AP Top 25 preseason college football poll for the second straight year. Ohio State comes in at number 2, while Oregon is number 3. The Mariners swept the Mets over the weekend in a 3-game series, allowing just 1 run. That 1 run allowed over 3 games is tied for the fewest runs allowed in a 3+ game series in franchise history. Also really cool, Cal Raleigh with 2 home runs. It was his 10th career multi-home run game, his 3rd of 2024.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Bump, when's the last time you were really surprised by something?
Last time I was really surprised by something, maybe about a month ago. My wife actually said sorry to me.
What?
She don't do that.
Whoa.
She don't
Love
do that.
this for Jen.
She
Love
said
this
sorry.
for you guys.
And I go, who you talking to? Don't you
you
talk to me
look
like
both
that.
ways?
What's going on?
Me?
Yeah, that was the last time.
Okay, Curtis, when's the last time you were surprised by something?
I was surprised the other day when I looked away and saw Blair had climbed up a sort of like a step stool that we had. I didn't even know she could climb.
Nice.
I looked over. I'm like, what are you doing up there?
Yeah, those Rogers.
She said, I got
ladies.
those. I got those.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, she turned on the jets and she just, went moving. I, for one, was very surprised that when I asked the Mariners, please please don't look awful on Sunday Night Baseball. On this national stage, I beg of you, just look like a functioning team. Look like a functioning offense, I should say, because their pitchers are amazing. They wouldn't look pretty dominant. Just when you think you have the Mariners figured out, they surprise you. Now, that could be after the trade deadline when they came out, yes, against the Chicago White Sox, but looked like a drastically improved team. And now they came out after a couple series where we were feeling really disheartened, looking at you, Detroit Tigers, and they looked dominant. And including dominant offensively, Bump.
Yeah, right. When we usually use the word dominant to describe the Mariners, we're talking about the guys on the mound. Right. And Castillo looked pretty dang good himself. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits and 1 earned. But we're talking about this offense. This offense did look great. 12 runs were produced. We mentioned, or you mentioned during the snapshot, that Cal went yard twice. But it's like when you show up to the family function and you got to be on your best behavior. We were begging these guys to not embarrass us in front of our friends. Everyone's going to be watching on Sunday night. What was it? 2004 was the last time these guys were on Sunday Night Baseball, and they did not disappoint. So big ups, man. We had some plays being made in the outfield. Randy and Robles making some plays. Our guy Julio struggled a bit, but that's okay because he's just getting back in the game. But no, the Mariners put some people on notice. If you haven't been paying attention, this was a good game to pay attention because they might have made you believe there's something that they haven't been consistently this year.
You know who I hope was paying attention? Whoever's putting together these top 10 catcher lists over the last 2 seasons, because over the last two seasons, when we've seen top 10 catcher lists, they have not included Cal Raleigh. Well, Cal Raleigh just became the first MLB catcher with 3 consecutive seasons of 25 or more home runs since Mike Piazza, or as they say in Italian, Curtis.
Mike Piazza.
Thank you. Cal's second home run blows the game wide open.
Last time up. Swing and a drive. Deep to right center. That baby's way gone. Big Cal. Another 2 home run performance. He drives in 3 and the Mariners have blown this baby wide open. It is 10-1 Seattle. Goodness gracious.
Talk about, not just blowing the game wide open, but having the people that you want to do that performing. This isn't a random, all due respect to Josh Rojas, but this isn't like that period of time when Josh Rojas was the only Mariner hitting. These are the guys outside of Julio that you want to be performing who are performing. Yeah,
you look at the top of the lineup, you got Robles with a hit and 2 RBIs. You got Randy with 2 RBIs. You got Cal coming through with 5 of them things. Yeah, and then you throw Julio in there, but he's just getting back into the groove of this whole thing. So let's skip down and go to Polanco. Polanco even had 3 hits as well, and he had a bomb. Yes, the top of the order did their thing on Sunday night, and that is what you want to see. And even the bottom got involved as well. When you put out 12 runs, the top is going to do it, the middle is going to do it, and the bottom is going to get it done as well. The one thing that is still true, 15 Ks, but I'll just gloss over that. We're not worried about them striking out 15 times. Exactly. There you go.
5 of them belong to one guy.
Let's put it in perspective. 5 belong to Julio, and he's just getting warmed up. So, yeah, this was a fun game to watch. I think we needed a series like this. As fans and analysts, we needed this series, but as a ball club, the Mariners needed this series too because the Astros are 7-3 in their last 10. The Mariners are 6-4. So there's a battle going on. This is going to be like a Olympics 100-meter dash photo finish when it comes to the Mariners and the Astros going at it. So it was nice to get a series sweep.
Yeah, it was hugely important. The Astros ended up sweeping the Red Sox. Obviously, you've still got that lead there, and this was after they took, I want to say 2 of 3 against the Rangers. So they're still heating up and still on your tail. This is going to be, like you said, Bump, a really close one. We talked a lot about Sunday baseball because it was Sunday night baseball, and it's a huge deal, but there was a lot to take away from the weekend. How about Logan Gilbert on Saturday?
The 3-2 to McNeil. Strike 3 called. 4-seam fastball. Just seared the outside corner. 2 down. 6 strikeouts for Logan. That's his first looking.
What I loved about this series as a whole is that not only did it showcase exactly what we were confident in, that being the Mariners pitchers, with Logan looking amazing, Luis Castillo looking amazing, but it was also a chance for the offense to take off with 6, 4, and then 12 runs. So everything was working, but I'm glad it wasn't one of those things where we end up going, Logan wasn't on his A game, but I still have faith. No, he was on his A game.
Yeah, Logan was on point, man. 7 innings, another quality start for this young man. The same way that we kind of highlight when the Mariners are just playing awful and things aren't going right, the guys on the mound aren't doing what they typically do. The bullpen isn't doing what they do. The lineup looks horrible. I just want to sit back and give these guys some love right now. All right, 22 runs scored, 1 given up. I mean, let's highlight that.
Yeah.
If they don't have these type of performances, it does something to the mentality of this baseball team. And I love seeing Robles continue to hit the ball. I love seeing Logan be the guy that we know and love. Love seeing Cal do some things that not too many catchers are doing in this game right now. You have to do these things. How many games left? Like 40 or something like that? Maybe less than 40? You have to put these performances together. You got to be trending in the right direction. You had an opportunity to show the nation what you were made of, and you showed up and did your thing. So, yes, I just want to give them round of applause, man. Good job, Mariners, for not embarrassing us and embarrassing yourselves, but going out and saying, look, this is the potential of this team. Not saying they're going to put up 12 every night. Can't expect that. But this is the potential of this team. Great pitching, solid hitting. Julio's not even back to what he used to be. We'll see how it looks when he gets there.
Over the course of a weekend, when you score 22 runs, it typically means that everyone did something. Someone got RBI. Someone got home runs. Someone went 2 for 4, 3 for 4. Everyone had, over the course of this 3-game series, some kind of moment. And when that happens, you build trust, says Scott Service.
Well, I think it's when you don't feel like you have to do it all yourself. And we get multiple guys in the lineup that are swinging the bat well. You do have trust in the guy behind you, and you're not trying to do too much. And a lot of it is from the guys we brought in. Randy has a ton of confidence. He has no fear of hitting with 2 strikes. No fear. You see it. He's taking pitches, and I'm like, he has a plan, and he sticks with it. JT, great 2-strike hitter. He's got no fear of getting to 2 strikes, and then he has a plan when we get there, and I think a lot of that is rubbing off on some of our other guys. Again,
Bump, how much does the chemistry, does the foundation and feeling of a team change when you trust that the guy beside you on the field or maybe behind you or ahead of you in the lineup can do the job?
It's amazing. It's good vibes, man. It is knowing that it's not all on you to get the job done. And if you have a not a great at-bat, you feel like JT's going to be able to pick you up. Brandy's going to be able to pick you up. And then just the confidence that they come out to the diamond with is amazing. I love seeing Randy in the outfield with that big old Cuban League chain on, with that smile, making plays. And it's like the way they carry themselves, the way you walk. I tell my kids all the time, as soon as you step out of this vehicle and you step foot on that field, you become the greatest player in the world in your mind. Convince yourself of that, and good things are going to happen. Now, you got to back it up with some play. And we've seen that from Randy. This is a different type of swag. I haven't seen this swag from the Mariners in quite some time, man. So I think you add the swag with the performance. Now, you can be the best player in your mind and come out with the Cuban League chain and the fancy gloves and look the part. You got to play the part, and we're seeing exactly that, man. It's been fun to watch the transition. There's been like a maturation of this team over the past month or so.
I agree.
When you add these guys to it.
I'm glad that you mentioned maturation of the team over the last week or so, or excuse me, month or so. The 253 says Jekyll and Hyde. Now, I think that that's one way to look at the offense or this team as a whole. Hey, sometimes they're going to go out and take 2 or 3 against the Phillies, and other times they're going to almost get swept by the Tigers. Or sometimes they're going to go out and look really good, in a tough series earlier this season against the Braves, and then later they're going to look horrible against the Astros and let the Astros leapfrog them. Like, there have been high highs and low lows for this team. Part of that's just the nature of baseball, but I would personally push back against the idea that there hasn't been some kind of improvement post-trade deadline. Yeah,
there's definitely been an improvement. If you just look at the numbers alone, the batting average is up, the strikeouts are still where they've been, but the runs being scored are up. I look towards the teams who have the best talent, right? And I go, well, what do their seasons look like? So I look at the Yankees and I go, well, they lost 9-4 and 8-2 to the Angels. And then they come out and they score 8 runs against the Rangers and win that game, then lose 9-4. That's just the nature of baseball. It's so hard to be extremely consistent in this game. So you take your games wherever you can, and when you put out numbers like they have this past weekend, you got to roll with it. But I think we've seen better performances more often than not since the trade deadline. That's what I'm looking for. Just stay above 500, right? Let's get more than a few games above 500 and keep pace with the Astros, because if you can do that, eventually I feel like the Mariners pitching is going to be the thing that puts them over the top when it comes down to it.
4 minutes here before headline rewrites. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which we've kind of hinted at, which is Julio Rodriguez. Julio not just goes 0 for 5 yesterday, but has 5 home runs, but has 5 strikeouts. I've got 2 texts from listeners. There were a couple people sounding off about this, but 2 that I want to read to you. 206 says, my mother's in her 80s. She says it looks to me like Julio's trying to kill the ball, hit a home run every time at bat. Someone else said, don't give excuses for Julio with those 5 home runs. Now, with both of those as feedback for kind of a vibe of what texters are feeling right now, and I don't know if that speaks more largely to Mariners fans, but I'm guessing fans were disappointed to see that from Julio. How did you feel?
I didn't expect anything from Julio. You don't sit for, a month or close to a month and come out in the bigs and start hot. That's why a lot of guys go down for assignment, you go to Tacoma, and you get some hacks in there, and you work your way up. That wasn't the case with Julio. I don't think it's making excuses. That's the reality of baseball. You got to see pitches. I don't care if you're taking BP. When you're taking BP, they're not throwing sliders moving 6 inches and at 90 miles an hour. It's just different during game time. It's the same thing. I was watching ESPN this past weekend. I forgot who it was. He came up with a good point about CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's going to be working out. He's going to be in shape. He's not going to be in football shape. There's no way to simulate football shape. You can run your routes and run your sprints and do all that stuff, but when it's game time, it's just different. So CeeDee Lamb, I'm predicting, is going to come out slow because he hasn't gotten football reps. It's the same thing when it comes to baseball. He hasn't gotten those reps. So 5Ks, of course, is discouraging a little bit, and he does swing extremely hard. It looks like he's trying to swing for the fences. Then imagine, we talked about the ease that Randy and JT and Robles has given a lot of these guys. Imagine you being Julio, watching these guys snag home runs in the outfield, make all these diving plays, and produce at the plate. He wants to be a part of this, so he's a bit anxious there as well. It's not excuses. I think people who say things like that after one performance and say, oh, you're giving them excuses, don't understand how sports work in general. You don't just come back after sitting for a long time and just play the best you've ever played. Yeah. You're going to struggle a little bit, especially in baseball. It's the hardest sport in the world, in my opinion, hitting that baseball. So not an excuse. It's reality. Give this man a few more games. We'll see what's up.
Would it be a platinum sombrero, says the 253. That's funny. But no, I don't want to reward that with a cool slogan. One thing I'll add is why Julio is still going to be thrown out there. So I saw a couple people bump saying, why still put him out? Why not put him on the bench? And I'm going to use a bad analogy. Are you ready?
Ready.
Do you love pull tabs? Of course you do.
You know what? First time in my life I played it. I played them. Or how do you say you played them? Or you played pull tabs?
Them? Yeah.
Last year, first time ever.
I'm not saying you're a pull tab person. I'm saying I know you love a dive bar.
Yeah.
You love kicking it with your boys, watching a game, drinking a couple beers. Pull tabs are right up your alley.
It was exhilarating.
Okay, I knew that you would love that.
Yeah.
I would say it's like this. If you get a pile of 50 from one where you could win $250 and a pile from one where you could win $50, which one are you always choosing? You're always choosing the one where you could win higher.
Yeah.
So when you're wondering, like, well, why send Julio out there if he's got 5 strikeouts? Why have Julio do this? Because if the choice is between Julio, who has the potential to be great and has been, or like an average player, unless that average player is hot and he's really delivering and deserves that chance, you're always going to ride with the guy who could potentially break out.
Yeah.
Always.
For sure.
Think of it in terms of gambling, in terms of, not that I'm encouraging that, but in terms of the risk that you're willing to take when you're weighing risk factors. Big payoff always remains the biggest temptation.
And you were excited when you saw that Julio was going to be in that lineup. Everybody was excited because of what you just described, because of the potential of what could be if you add Julio to what's happening. 5K is not a good look. Got to do better. Exactly, but first game back.
All right, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, Team USA men's basketball won gold thanks to Steph Curry going nuclear to finish off Team France. Here's how that sounded.
Durant, back to Curry, dancing on Batum, over the double team. Oh! It's a golden dagger! Night! Curry, unconscious in the fourth.
What's the real headline?
So this is what it's like being a Warriors fan. This is what
it's not bad.
This is what that feels like.
Pretty good.
Oh wow, that's really cool. It's kind of like if they made like a Olympics NFL team, and all of a sudden it was like peak Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, and you're like, oh wow, this is fun. All of a sudden, I don't hate this guy.
Steph Curry, the last 2 games was something special, man. Obviously made 8 3-pointers in the gold medal game, 61% for 3-pointers. 36-point versus Serbia, 9 for 14 from 3. Last 2 games put up like 60-something points. Here's the great thing about Steph Curry and the messed up thing about Steph Curry. Steph Curry put together a great performance. Steph Curry is also the reason why teams like Serbia and all these guys are hanging around, because they're jacking up threes too. He changed the game. It was like, look, I'm the reason why you guys are so close. Let me close you guys out, man. So it was crazy watching it all go down, because he's still the best at doing that. Yet other countries are catching up to us because, one, they're getting better, and two, the three-point is so prevalent in the game nowadays that you're never really out of it. They were down 17 on Thursday to Serbia. I was about to cry.
You were so, you literally told Noah at the time was on the board, don't tell us what happens. We're 30 seconds behind. Don't tell me anything. A question for you, Bump, and Curtis, after Bump answers, if you've got one, let me know, because I know this is up your alley too. You mentioned Steph Curry has influenced the game of basketball more than any other athlete in the last 15 years or so, obviously, with the usage of the three and just how the game has changed. If you were to apply that to football, is there an athlete who has influenced, or a coach who has influenced either collegiately or the pros in the same kind of way, where you're like, things are different now?
It's Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, I was going to say Pat.
Pat Mahomes, you spread it out, and then you look at, you know what, Alvin Kamara, too. He needs to get more love when it comes to using the running backs out the backfield. Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey. You can no longer be a running back that just runs between the tackles. You got to be able to catch the rock. So I look at those two running backs, and then I look at Pat Mahomes for sure.
You know what I would say? Who was maybe one of the earlier coordinators to use nickel often? Or maybe the usage of nickel defense is directly a result of those passing offenses and Pat Mahomes.
Defense always reacts to the offense.
You're right. Yep. I don't think anyone came out there and was like, let's get 3 DBs.
You know what? They got a tight end. Let's throw another DB out there.
Let's do that.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Team USA women's basketball won gold, but they were pushed to the brink by France in the gold medal game. Here is how that finish sounded.
No timeouts here. Johannes up ahead. It's Williams. That was a 2. Banked it in. A 2-ball. And the United States is going to claim gold for the 8th consecutive Olympics. What a finish. Williams with her foot on the line.
What's the real headline?
We were inches away from a week of Caitlin Clark discourse.
Ooh-wee. And if the U.S. women were to go down, I would have been here for all that drama when it came for Caitlin Clark.
Absolutely.
I want to see them win their medal, obviously. Won 8 straight in a row, 61 games in a row, 25 first half points, 10 in the second quarter. That's the lowest all tournament. 13 turnovers in the first half. They averaged 14 throughout the Olympics. This is basketball nowadays. It's not like it used to be. You're not going to show up and beat a team by 50 or 60 points like back in the day. But this makes it that much more fun to watch. Honestly, it's stressful because you want your team to come away with the gold, but it's fun to watch, and I'm glad the women got it done.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, the Seahawks made the Connor Williams signing official, and they traded veteran Nick Harris to the Browns for a 2026 6th-round pick. What's the real headline?
Let's hope this works out better than the last time the Seahawks traded a center.
Hey, now.
I want to add a disclaimer, which is I know that they traded B.J. Finney. But I also know that when I said that, the majority of you thought Max Unger and knew how poorly that ended up working out for Seattle. Still, no Jimmy Graham slander tolerated here. Am I right, Curtis?
That's right. Did nothing wrong.
Bump, what should we make of the signing of Connor Williams now that it's official?
It means that Oluwatimi's not ready, but has a more potential than Nick Harris. All right, because they brought Nick Harris to compete and say, look, let's see how he does. I watched the game or rewatched the game. I don't think Nick Harris did bad, but I think they needed a veteran presence on that offensive line. You already have Tomlinson as well. So this allows Oluwatimi to continue to develop, and he's played some guard as well, so has Connor Williams. So it gives you some flexibility. I like the move, man. We knew this was going to get done, and we were wondering what moves were going to be made to correspond with it. But, yeah, I'm all right with this, man. Connor Williams, if he is healthy and ready to go, he's considered one, if not the best center in the game right now. Hell of an upgrade on that O-line.
Stacy, please don't remind me, says the 360. You're right, too soon. I'm very sorry, too soon. 360, another 360 bump. What about the Sonics with Ray Allen and the Suns with Nash? They jacked threes up all day.
Not to the extent of
It's not like this.
Yeah.
It's not like this.
Yeah.
It felt like that back in the day.
Right.
Like they shot the 3 12 times? What the heck is going
never
on?
seen this.
This is amazing.
The
No,
whole team shot 400 threes in a season. Meanwhile, Steph's shooting 500 by himself.
Solo. Hey, it's a bit different.
It's a really
I get the
point.
feeling, though.
Yeah.
Same feeling, but
Well, it's
numbers
kind
are
of
different.
like the person that we see is drastically altering the game sometimes wasn't the very first to do it. They just did it in a different way, were really successful. Like, it just tweaked it just enough to change. Someone earlier, this is very different, but they texted in, what about Reggie Bush? I don't think Reggie Bush changed the game. I mean, a running back who was really successful, like, we've seen that at the collegiate level.
No, the thing with Reggie is that he wasn't used properly in the NFL. Like, they didn't know what to do with him in the NFL. If he were used like Kamara was being used or is being used in McCaffrey, it'd be different. He had the potential to change a game like that.
Later.
Yeah, it's just the timing of it was all different. College football-wise, yeah, he was amazing, but NFL is a bit different.
Yeah, but it's a fair point. I think of like someone who has made the rest of the league adapt or change, or even in your point about Steph Curry, impacted international teams.
Yeah.
Right?
The world, like, Craig.
The world, Craig. That's from Friday, where Smokey and Tim.
Smokey and Tim, yeah.
Smokey and Tim.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of Tims in my neighborhood. Lots of Tims.
Lots of Tims. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. We got our first look at the Seahawks in real game action this past weekend, and we've got one big takeaway. That's next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Who had the best weekend in the Mariner uniform, Brock? And you could choose your favorite starting pitcher.
Logan was the best.
Think so?
He's got a .87 whip. He's number one in baseball.
But
he's thrown 100.
He had a couple if he starts.
54 innings, number 3 in baseball. He's got a 3.1 WAR on
this question is
team.
not about who's been the better pitcher this year.
For the fifth time, he's gone 7+ shutout innings
this weekend.
Yeah, it was Logan.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's the last days of summer, and everyone's trying to squeeze in just a little bit more. It's Mike Salk here, and making the most of your summer could mean a road trip, camping, a round of golf with some old friends, or that big home project, right? If a roof was on your checklist this year, now's the time to make it happen. The days are slowly getting shorter, the temperatures are starting to decrease, and the window is closing on getting that quick roof replacement. Worry not. You can still get it done with Riverside Roofing. Here's what you do. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. You'll be prompted with a quick quote, enter your information, and they'll give you a quote in less than 60 seconds. Do it right now. Putting it off any longer won't make it go away. It only makes it more difficult. So trust Riverside Roofing with your roof replacement. I did, and you should as well. They're also certified Tesla roof installers, so they can go that direction, and they'll use the catch-all system to protect your lawn. They're Master GAF Elite certified. You can find them online at riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
High five! Up top! Heck yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep, Dave's feeling it. But it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings. Powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
At Shane Company, we'll help you design an engagement ring as unique as your love story. We have the widest selection of diamonds and gemstones for you to choose from, and you can compare them side by side right here in our store. Only at Shane Company can you sift through exquisite diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in a variety of shapes and sizes. We'll help you create your dream engagement ring no matter your price range. Choose the ring setting that speaks to your style, from classic to modern to vintage. We offer so many ways to personalize your ring. Pick your favorite center stone, add a decorative crown and a custom engraving, or select a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. At Shane Company, our jewelers know how much your ring means to you. They hand-set each center stone with precision and pride in our jeweler's workshop, so you can feel confident knowing your ring is crafted with the greatest care and comes with an unmatched free lifetime warranty that lets you know we'll always be here for you. Your love story deserves to shine bright. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on seattlesports.com.
two things you're looking at when you're shopping for a new car or SUV: choice and exceptional deals. Visit our friends at Mazda of Everett and you'll be satisfied with both. Which Mazda moves you? Find out at Mazda of Everett. Choose from over 600 new Mazdas in stock, and right now they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? They also treat you like family and want you to drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Bring your whole crew to the game with the Mariners Suite at T-Mobile Park. Whether you're planning a special birthday party for friends and family or a company outing for up to 400 coworkers, there's no better spot for an unforgettable experience. Enjoy the Suite Life with premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. Plus, season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
And the pitch up the middle, JP. Wow!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The Seahawks opened their preseason with a game against the Chargers, and they won, which is great. Unfortunately, it doesn't count, so this team's still 0-0, but we did learn a lot. Now, coming up in the noon hour, Bump and I are going to talk about the things that caught our eye, our 3 biggest notes and takeaways and little things we were paying attention to from this game. So, Bump, what we're doing here instead is just kind of a first impression, the thing that stood out the most. What to you was, when you were leaving this game, the one thing sticking with you?
Really just the play calling, offensively and defensively. I'm not going to give away too much because I want to save some for 4-down territory, but that was the main thing, is that I learned a lot about what this offense could be and how they want to execute, what they want to execute, and defensively, just the fundamentals of that defense. It felt like a fundamentally sound game for defense. I was talking to Salk, as we transitioned from show to show. Yeah. He goes, man, that was a boring game to watch as a fan. He goes, well, as an analyst, he goes, you and Brock probably have so much more fun watching those types of games because you're looking for different things. I go, I can totally see how, as a fan, it might not have been the most entertaining game, but when you start really breaking it down and rewatching like the way that we do, you start to find little things. You say, okay, I understand what they're trying to do in these situations. So really, it was the play calling itself. It was vanilla, but I still got a lot out of it.
I would say it just looked, again, from that point of view, of a fan point of view as opposed to an analyst, I think it looked not cleaner, but it didn't look overall in the first quarter, which is when it mattered, sloppy, messy, undisciplined. Like, players looked like they were executing. This felt like a defense that was ready to execute. And even though there were little things like, maybe a pass sailing through the hands could have been a pick in a game, right? it's still being in the right place at the right time to make the play. Like, that's the first step.
Yeah.
And so for Reek Woolen or for Uchenna Nwosu especially, who stood out to me, that was really impressive.
Let me give Sam Howell some love, too.
Yeah.
Because he didn't look the greatest during training camp, and Mike McDonald had his back and said, look, I feel like he's a gamer. He's making these mistakes during training camp, and he did have some good days, too. Let's not act like Sam Howell didn't look like he belonged out there. He just didn't look as good as Geno. And you get him out there in that game, he goes 16 to 27, $130 and 1 touchdown. And there are situations where he made some great throws. He used his legs. His touchdown pass to Russell. Russell essentially ran the route the wrong way, but Sam Howell found a way to get him the football, so he got upfield and scored. I think it was important for me to see, I think for the coaches and fans to see that Sam Howell is capable of running an offense. We felt like, we knew he was capable of running an offense. He was a Commander's starter last year and threw 21 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. But going off what we saw in camp, we just weren't sure how he would fit into this offense and Ryan Grubb. It looked like he belonged out there. I was happy to see him move the football down the field.
Here's what McDonald had to say about Sam's performance.
I thought Sam played really well. Moving the offense, not all the starters played. I think we had a couple of the interior line guys that were the only ones in there. Great to see him come back out in the second half and move all the way down the field. Obviously we want to close that drive out, but thought we operated well. Thought he made some great decisions, slinging around. I'm sure there's some plays that we're gonna he'd want back, and that's good. It's never gonna be a perfect performance, but I definitely pleased.
He said, really, really solid. I'm sure there's some things he wants back, but overall, really good. Tell me if I'm breaking into 4-down territory, because I'll have a different question if that's the case. Maybe a play where you're like, loved this, and then another one where you go, he'd probably want that back.
One, they were in a, I call this an A-stack formation. It's a 2-by-2 formation, and the receivers are kind of stacked. And one receiver releases upfield to kind of hold the safety. The number 2 receiver just runs a speed out. The corner, now you can't play, the defense has to play on different levels right there. Right, the corner is down, the safety's over the top, and the outside backers at a different level. They're all playing at different levels. But his read is look, I'm going to look at that corner. If that corner drops, take any step back, I'm going to throw that out. If that corner stays, obviously the out's going to be covered. Now I'm going to work that seam. It was either seam or corner that was being rammed, but now I'm going to work that seam. And he got the ball, back foot, corner drop, boom, he let it go first down. I go, perfect. He's on time. He's ready to go. One that I think he would want back was the miss to Jake Bobo. Jake Bobo, there's a guy underneath that was wide open, but I figured, hey, you go ahead and you take your shot. There's a bracket, though. Bobo had a safety over the top, and I believe it was a nickel or backer running beneath him. If you make the perfect throw, that happens, but there was a route underneath that was open there. But you want to take shots, and I see a play like that, and I tell myself, Grubb is telling him to take a few shots out there, or else I don't think he makes that throw.
Are you talking kickoff rules later?
No, I'm not.
Okay, let's take a listen to what McDonald made of those.
Yeah, I'd say hot and cold. There's a lot of great things to show. I mean, this return was definitely a highlight. There's a couple things where we got to look at how we're blocking some certain things, especially when the ball's going across the field. But again, I think it'd be fun film to watch. And hey, guys, now we saw it for real. This is the tempo of the play.
Everybody's looking at.
Let's change our targets, our counts, things like that. Make sure our angles are on point, and we should take a big jump here moving forward.
Saturday's game was not the first time we saw that. Obviously, it was in the Hall of Fame game, and then if you catch any preseason games Thursday or Friday, you also saw it. I like the new kickoff rules. I'm still figuring them out, though. Like, as it happens, I do think we're going to see some kickoff return touchdowns.
No, I liked it. You see the potential of it. You feel like there's some big ones. LaVisca had a big one, and then they had a big return as well on the other side. Yeah, D had a decent one. And I think they're experimenting with angles and personnel because the kick return team and the kickoff team, they're only 5 yards separated from each other. You're trying to find angles that will open up gaps. I saw Mike Moore, so you're allowed to have 9 guys in that zone right there, okay? And 2 guys are off the line of scrimmage, but they have to be within the 5-yard zone that the return team has to be in. I saw Mike Morris as one of the guys who were back, and now he's wrapping around trying to block an unblocked guy. And then the other, what do you want to call him, Mike? We used to call them a protection guy. So the back protection guy is crossing Mike Morris's face, trying to create angles, right? You want to get a guy on his inside shoulder and drive him outside, and it just didn't work out that one time. Then I saw that protector guy they leave one guy unblocked, and everyone like slants on the front line to the right, and then you're doubling one guy trying to find a crease there. Little things like that is what they're experimenting with, and I think once they get it dialed in, there's going to be some big returns. There was a 70-yard return this weekend. There was a 60-yard return this weekend, a couple 40-somethings. I mean, just in 1 week in a preseason football, I saw bigger returns than I saw last year.
I'm going to call protector guy PG. That's
PG?
The official term now.
Protector guy.
It's like when we had hella extremely explosive plays, heaps. Hella
Yeah,
extremely
hella
explosive
uh-huh.
play. We had 3 heaps in this game, which is phenomenal. You really opened up the pass game, took the top off. All right, let's get to let's take a listen. Let's get back to Sam Howell just to spend some time on him. He talked about his own performance against the Chargers, but importantly, talked about his performance. You talked about Sam looking a bit different in practice versus this game. He talked about that.
I mean, obviously, you try to be really good every single day, and try to be the same player you are in practice. But I think, obviously, when the lights come on, I think I try to take it to another level for sure. And I just think kind of part of his question here was, using my feet. That's something that you don't really get to see a whole lot in practice because you're not live, so you don't really get those live plays. And I feel like that's a really big part of my game and something I bring to the table. But, yeah, I mean, I try to be the same player each and every day.
In an hour and a half, we're going to be talking about this a little more, so don't worry about being repetitive, because I think for a lot of fans, a quarterback controversy or quarterback questions are always the number one story. And so I think there were some people that saw this from Sam and thought, well, maybe pretty encouraging, but there is a gap in practice. So I was encouraged by Sam, but still have lots of questions.
Yeah, in practice, I think – who said this? One of our hosts said this on this station. When you see a quarterback run in practice, that's a bad thing. It doesn't feel right. When you see a quarterback run in a game, you're like, all right, I understand what he's saying. Now, let's pick up this big run. What he had a run of 12, 14 yards or something like that. So you get to see a dynamic of Sam Howell that you don't necessarily get to see in practice. He looked like he knew what he was doing. And that was my main thing. I go, he can't look overwhelmed. He can't look frustrated. He can't look like he is not in control of what's going on. Even your bad throws, you can still kind of see, all right, I get what he was thinking there. And that's the feeling I got with Sam Howell. So you got to see a bit more. And the reason why some guys excel during game time is because it's live. You're getting a clear picture. That DB is really breaking on that out. That safety has to stay over the top. They don't know our tendencies. They don't know our install this week. So things just get real. The picture becomes a lot more clear for some guys when it's live because the defense is really reacting to things and not going 75%.
Bump, think about your answer to this. Listeners, think about your answer to this. What are the top traits or skills that are most important to a franchise quarterback? Dan Orlovsky not only ranked all of these skills and listed them out, and we'll see what you think about them, he also ranked the league's quarterbacks 1 through 10 in each of these. And I will tell you, Geno Smith shows up more than once. That's coming up next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
Here's Brian Wu of your Seattle Mariners.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
What's the vibe like?
The vibe is good. I mean, I think it's exciting after the trade deadline, and you get some new faces in, you get some new, some good vibes. But I think we all understand how good this group is and how good we can be. And I think everyone's kind of just trying to take it day by day. But there's definitely, an understanding of what the ultimate goal is.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, this is Stacey Rost, and if you're looking for top-notch service for your plumbing, heating, and air needs, look no further than Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air. For over 25 years, Ben's has been providing 5-star service to our community. Their team of experienced professionals is dedicated to making sure you get the best service possible. Here's what that looks like. It looks like no pressure. No gimmicks, just honest, reliable work. That's such a relief. From routine maintenance to emergency repairs, Ben's has got you covered. With their no-pressure sales approach, you can rest easy, knowing you're only getting the services you need without all those unnecessary upsells. So, whether it's a leaky faucet or maybe a broken heater or an AC on the fritz, trust the experts with over a quarter-century of excellence. Call Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air today at 206-789-5353. That's 206-789-5353 or benz.plumbing. Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where 5-star service meets no pressure sales.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about summertime. Bikinis, the occasional Speedo, sunshine, and almost always more drinking. But don't let the wine coolers or hard lemonades fool you. Too many drinks at the beach can get you in a whole lot of trouble. You're sporting a farmer's tan, but the police are wearing heavy, dark uniforms. And it's not because they're comfortable. If you don't take preventative measures, your summer tan can become a costly burn. Take a designated driver with that aloe vera and SPF 50. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up a free private consultation. Jail is no place to ask, missed a spot? Mind getting where I can't reach? Be reasonable this summer. And always remember, 1-800-DUI-AWAY has your back.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! Hey, are you thinking about an electric car or truck? Then visit Chevrolet Buick GMC at Puyallup today to meet the electric lineup from Chevrolet and GMC. Hey, Brock Heward here, and from the revolutionary GMC Hummer SUV and pickup to the Chevrolet Blazer EV, Equinox EV, and even the first ever all-electric Silverado EV, Chevrolet Buick GMC at Puyallup has the team to share all the benefits of going electric. To learn more, visit them at ChevroletBuickGMC at Puyallup.com or go see them in Puyallup. Chevrolet Buick GMC at Puyallup, a better experience.
This is Seattle Sports.
Touchdown, Seahawks! Around the right side goes George Halani.
The home of the Seahawks.
You know, being out of camp this time of year, you get to see some absolute physical specimens. Guys that have trained all summer to be in the best shape of their life. Now, most of us don't have that kind of time, energy, resources, or genetics to look like some of those guys, but we can certainly look our very best with a little help from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. It's Mike Salk here, and I used that program last year to lose 35 pounds. That's right. Lost 35 pounds, and it only took me 8 weeks to do it. Guess what? It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that painful either. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic devised a plan that was right for me. I ate real food that you buy at the grocery store. I lost weight and I looked and felt my very best. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is safe, healthy, sustainable weight loss. So schedule a free, no obligation consultation right now by going to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Just see if it's right for you. 425-588-0080 is the number, or eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Again, 425-588-0080 or eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Your home is your most valuable asset. If you are sick, you go to a doctor. And when something is wrong with your home, you call an expert. Did you know over time, sidewalks and driveways can sink and crack, causing trip hazards or worse? Matt Vey Foundation Repair is the industry leader in concrete repairs. Their foam injection process corrects concrete problems in a matter of minutes, and their Pentec concrete floor coatings will add durability and style to most concrete surfaces. Call now for a free estimate. Also ask about payment options and financing. Matt Vey Foundation Repair. Go mattvey.com. Rock built, rock solid.
As a Washington State business, you can take advantage of Labor and Industries' no-cost safety and health consultation program. We can help you build out your accident prevention plan, meet safety obligations, and reduce your risk of costly safety citations. You can have us look at a single item or your entire facility. And consultations are confidential, which means you will not be cited if a hazard is found. You'll just need to fix it, and we can help you with that as well. There isn't a safety question we can't help with. To learn more, visit lni.wa.gov/consultations.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We're going to play a game because gamifying things are very important. for accomplishing goals. And also because I always love making as close to a bet as I possibly can. Curtis, you were out, but Bump and I already have a bet that if DK Metcalf does not get in a fight at joint practices with the Titans, then I win and I don't bring donuts. If DK gets in a fight at joint practices with the Titans,
you're bringing in donuts.
I'm bringing in donuts. DK, if you're listening, I need you to keep it together, okay? I'm out $12 if you lose your cool. Now, so there's already an existing one. So, Bump, you can choose one of two things. I'm going to give you a task during this segment. If you accomplish the task, either I can bring donuts tomorrow or I'll order like pizza for us tomorrow as a show.
Pizza party.
Pizza party? Okay, you get a pizza party. There are 7 categories from Dan Orlovsky. These are the most important skills that he has for quarterbacks. Across the league, he ranks quarterbacks 1 through 10 in this, okay? If you can guess the number 1 quarterback for at least 3 of these categories,
okay,
I'll order pizza for us tomorrow.
All right.
Okay? Curtis?
Can I pull up a list of quarterbacks for me to look at? I'm looking at the stats. I'm not looking at the article. I'm looking at stats.
Yeah, you can. You can have a list of quarterbacks. You can have a list of stats. You cannot look at the article, obviously. And Matt, Curtis, I bet if I see one of you turn that mic on and try to get in Bump's ear to give him a hint, you're canceled.
Wow, canceled. Wow.
Canceled.
Literally just said to Curtis, let's just feed Bump all the answers and get us a pizza party.
Not. Okay, so you can get 4 wrong. You can get 4 wrong. You just need to get 3 right. Okay, ready? Listeners, you better not help them out either.
I'm not looking at the text lines either.
And we're going to spend just maybe like 30 seconds reacting to each so that we can actually get some insight here. Number 1 category, of course, it's a quarterback. What do? You throw the ball, arm strength. The number 1 quarterback who Dan Orlovsky has in arm strength.
See, naturally, you want to go with Pat Mahomes because you see all the stuff that he does. But I don't think it's Pat Mahomes. Arm strength, I'm going to go with Josh Allen.
That is such a good answer.
But it ain't it.
It ain't it. Josh Allen, number 2. Number 1, your gut was right.
Really?
Pat Mahomes.
I feel like it's not arm strength. It's like launch angles, right? The way he releases the football. But, Dan Orlovsky played 10 years in a game.
Yeah.
So, I'll give it to him. But no, I can see that, though.
Gino does not show up on this one, which doesn't especially shock me. That's not really Gino's game. Like, it's not purely arm strength.
Yeah.
Order is Pat Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Stafford, Rodgers are the top 5. Okay. Let's go to number 2. Ball placement.
Ooh, ball placement. That's
the only clue I'll give you is Gino does show up on this list.
He does show up on it. I don't think to me it's out of these 2 guys, and they don't have the strongest arms, but their placement is on point. It's out of Jared Goff and Tua. I'm gonna go with Tua.
Tua is number 2. You're so good at guessing the second best quarterback.
Can we get a
here.
pizza for the number 2 guess?
Goff is number 1?
No.
Like a cheese
Joe
pizza.
Burrow
No
is
toppings.
number 1.
Okay, yeah, I can see
top
that.
5, Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, and the second-year pro C.J. Stroud coming in at number 5.
Yeah.
Dan says there's a difference between accuracy and ball placement. Accuracy is the ability to throw your ball to your guy, but ball placement is keeping it just away from the defender. So that like special touch, yeah, I can see Joe Burrow having that. Yeah,
I see it.
Number 3, this is tough. Mechanics.
Mechanics.
Again, you can get 4 wrong.
Goodness gracious, some mechanics, man. It ain't Lamar Jackson because no one likes the way he throws it.
Not to interrupt, do you want me to give Dan's definition of it before you guess?
Yeah,
that might make it easier. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, can you use it in a sentence? Even though you know. So this is how Dan graded it. Who's a natural thrower? Who has the best footwork? Who moves well within the pocket and always plays in rhythm? It all factors into mechanics. When things are clean, I'm looking for a repetitive throwing motion. And when they aren't clean, I'm looking for the ability to make it work because of a strong base.
See, the thing that messes all this up is Patrick Mahomes does everything well, but it looks unorthodox. But because he has so much success, you want to put him in there and say, yeah, it's got to be Pat Mahomes because he'll throw it out his legs. He'll just use his arm sometimes and gets it done. But I'm going to go with a dark horse. I think this guy's mechanics is beautiful, and I love watching him throw the football. It's Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy is number 9.
Oh, snap. Who's number 1?
Joe Burrow, number 1. He said, Burrow leads the way. He's always ready to throw and can smoothly repeat motion rep after rep. Stroud has the same ability. Goff is equally consistent. He said, my hardest call here was actually putting Lawrence at number 10. I almost put Geno Smith there.
Really?
Geno almost showed up on 3 of these. Okay.
All right.
You got to start tightening
I'm
up.
letting the squad down. You know?
This is tough.
You have to go
How
down
about
to the
this?
market
If
downstairs.
you don't get it here,
spend some
I will
money.
come up with another point in the show where you could win it, okay?
All right.
Because I just love games. Next, decision making. Quarterbacks have to be able to read the defense and recognize what it's trying to get him to do with the ball and what it's trying to keep him from doing. Then they need to be able to figure out whether their first read is going to work given what the defense is showing. If the play calls for a throw to your top receiver on a slant, would making that throw be a good or bad decision? You know what decision making is. Number one quarterback with decision making.
See, I like Brock Purdy on this one, too, because I feel like the offense allows him to go through his process fairly quickly and understand where he's going to go with the football. I also like Jared Goff. There's a moment where he ain't throwing interceptions on like 400 passes or something crazy like that. And then there's always Patrick Mahomes, but he had his worst year when it comes to decision-making last year. He threw the most picks that he's ever thrown.
Do you want a one-word clue?
Yeah.
Veteran.
Okay. So, Brock, you out of there, baby. Oh, man, I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford.
Emphasis on veteran. That is such a good guess because Matthew Stafford is number. Matt, you want to guess what number Matthew Stafford is?
7.
2. He's number 2. Matthew, you're so close. Aaron Rodgers, number 1.
He didn't play last year.
On this list.
He did not play last year.
Here's the thing. You have three.
I should win that one because Dan is wrong because he did not play.
You have 3 more. If you get all 3 right.
He always gets the easy ones.
Just get all 3 right. Next.
Goodness gracious.
Pocket presence. Geno Smith did show up on this list. He is not number 1. A quarterback with a strong pocket presence operates effectively in the pocket even when things are chaotic around him. Can he recognize and avoid pressure? Can he move efficiently and calmly under duress? When I built this top 10, I looked for those who were at their best when the situation was at its worst, which I actually think is a pretty good clue. Pocket presence.
When the situation was at its worst. Pretty good clue. So I'm looking for someone who got sacked the most? Like what
No,
what am I
someone
looking at?
who operates well in chaos, maybe.
Yes. It's out of C.J. Stroud and Pat Mahomes, in my opinion. Because C.J. Stroud has great pocket presence. So does Lamar Jackson, but he gets busy. Goodness gracious. I'm going to go with
Just say it.
Patrick Mahomes.
You got it. 2 more in a row.
We did it.
Come
We're
on.
doing it.
We're there.
Come
We're
on.
almost there. We're almost there. Okay, 2 more. Here we go. Now, I actually think that you can get these next 2.
I should have gotten like 3 of these already.
Next up, rushing ability.
Come on now.
Do you want a clue?
Come on now. Lamar Jackson, let's go.
Lamar Jackson is the answer.
Wow, you did it.
Hey, I need you guys to get up there. Get up.
Good answer. Good
Get my
answer.
studio audience, man.
Answer. Okay, no one give Bump the clue. If you get this, you guys get a
Come
pizza
on.
party tomorrow.
Come on.
I'll give you the definition for this one, even though you can guess, it's a tough one. Second reaction ability. Here's what Dan says. Being able to make a play is central to quarterback success, and the best in the league excel at making off-schedule and off-platform throws. These second reaction passes from different arm angles, often on the move, can be the difference between moving
Come
the sticks
on.
and a stall drive. What is your guess?
If it ain't this dude, you just described him beautifully. Patrick Mahomes. It's got to be Patrick Mahomes. Off-platform throws?
Is that your answer?
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes.
It's number 2?
Is it?
Let's go.
Yeah.
You guys got it. Wow.
Pizza party, baby.
I really, this was crazy. This was just cleaning up in the final 3, back to back to back.
I got a lot of 2s, though.
You got a lot of 2s. I am really proud of you.
3 2s?
You got 3 2s.
Come on, man.
I mean, you were pretty good at figuring out what Dan's guesses would be. And you also got pizza for you guys tomorrow, so we'll order it during the show. ESPN's Brady Henderson joining us next.
Seattle Sports is your exclusive home for Mariners baseball.
The relay to first is in time for the double play.
Every strikeout,
Strike 3 called and the ball game is over. The Mariners win it 12-1.
every home run,
Swing and a drive deep to right center. That baby's way gone.
every Mariners win.
Goodbye, baseball.
Stream every game at seattlesports.com or on the Seattle Sports app. We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
How do you deal with the negative reviews? Sometimes they just eat me up.
We love our marketing director, and she excels as a leader and loves being part of our Lee Johnson team, except when she's reading a negative review.
I don't get a lot of time with Justin. Last year, I rode with him just a half an hour. I never get that time with him. And I said, how do you not let it eat you up? I said, sometimes I feel so responsible. I have nothing to do with it. I wasn't there, but I feel so responsible. And his answer was, I just look at it as an opportunity. We need that feedback to learn and to do better. I'm grateful for the feedback. I won't ever forget that conversation, and I have to remind myself of it.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. So glad, so thankful that Molly and I made the call. Had heard so many First Mark Challenge victories, we needed to take that challenge. What does happen from your perspective when that caller, when that email, when that person reaches out to you for a First Mark Challenge victory?
That's a great question. So there's several steps we go through in the process. The first step is we're going to gather information, find out all we can about that client and what their needs are. The next step is we will go out to the market. We have dozens and dozens of carriers that will compete for the business. At the end of that process, we will then bring those findings back to the customer, show them what we found, and who the eventual winner was in that competition.
And it may be who they're with.
It might be, yes. And sometimes that's the best we can do is recommend they stay where they are, but maybe modify a few coverages to put them in a better position.
So go take that challenge today. Go be the next First Mark Challenge victory. It costs you nothing, and they will be there with you every step of the way. FirstMarkInsurance.com. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
There's still time to get your roof done this summer with Riverside Roofing's Quick Quote at RiversideRoofingLLC.com. Enter the details of your project, and you're only 60 seconds away from starting on a new roof. At Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
Seattle is home to Swedish CyberKnife, a non-invasive and highly precise treatment for prostate cancer. Compared with other radiation treatments, CyberKnife treatment is much shorter, typically 5 treatments. The vast majority of patients experience minimal side effects and can continue normal activities during treatment. Swedish CyberKnife patients enjoy excellent cancer control rates and minimal disruption to normal activities. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it, between imagining living there and breathing in your new home for the first time. Having an advocate who can help you navigate the complex world of financing, inspections, negotiating, analyzing the market, and talking through any anxieties that may pop up, that can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and bound by a code of ethics, because that's who we are.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Having quality care matters to everybody. So, let's talk about it. Optum Care Washington is healthier primary and specialty care. Your doctor can connect you to the care you need with top clinicians in more than 55 specialties, including podiatry, orthopedics, sports medicine, and spine specialists. And if you ever need ENT, breast, or colorectal surgery, you can count on board-certified surgeons. For top local doctors focused on you, connect with Optum at yourhealthwa.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Want to listen to Seattle sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Oh my goodness, off the facing of the hit it Air Cafe. Goodbye, baseball.
You're listening to 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Georgia is #1 in the AP Top 25 preseason college football poll for the second straight year. Ohio State comes in at #2, while Oregon is #3. The Mariners swept the Mets over the weekend in a 3-game series, allowing just 1 run. That 1 run allowed over the 3-game series is tied for the fewest runs allowed over a 3 or more game series in franchise history. Cal Raleigh also hit 2 home runs. That was his 3rd multi-home run game this season and the 10th of his career. Next up, the Mariners have an off day.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. All right, we have a lot to digest from the Seahawks preseason opener. Joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline, ESPN Seahawks reporter Brady Henderson. Brady, how's it going?
Good, Stacey. Sorry, bear with me. Just give me 1 second while I throw my headphones in. This is a very unprofessional move on my part, but I got to get my headphones in.
You go for it, Brady. I mean, first of all, how dare you? I'm already mad at Matt for cutting me off on the snapshot. Just kidding.
She was going too long.
I don't think I was going too long. I think I just added a little twist to it. I added a little twist people weren't expecting.
Stacey was about to do, I think, a promo for Extra Innings, which airs tonight. And Matt, being an arch nemesis of Extra Innings,
he didn't want anybody
tuning into
He didn't want anyone mentioning that Extra Innings tonight, 7 to 9 p.m., was going to be on during the Mariners off day.
I despise Extra Innings, both Curtis's thing and the thing that makes baseball go even longer. Get it out of here.
Brady, you ready?
I am so ready, and I apologize again for that.
Oh, my God, you're totally fine. So we have so much to take away from a first preseason game. And granted, it's not a regular season game, right? Our takeaways kind of end after a day or two. We're kind of ready for more football. But I was encouraged by a lot of what I saw from the starters on defense. What did you think there?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot to be encouraged there. I mean, they actually played those guys for, I think, at least a couple series where you had almost the entire starting defense out there, I think minus Jerome Baker, who, of course, didn't play because of the hamstring injury. So Mike McDonald said that he wanted to get those guys some reps, just knowing that they're installing a new scheme there. And that was about as good as you could look. I mean, it was a bunch of 3-and-outs to begin with, including 2 straight with almost the entire starting defense out there. And I just think, and then you saw that group continue to dominate even when it was, when they started working in more backups and even into the fourth quarter when it was, entirely third-string guys out there. So it was across the board, offense and defense. It was just generally good football, which you don't often see in the preseason, certainly not preseason game number 1 when you're, a lot of times tackling live for the first time. You don't really do that completely live in training camp, and I thought the tackling was really good on defense, and just the entire operation. I know they had one offsides penalty, but they just looked sort of disciplined, and it just looked like good football, and you don't often see that this early in the preseason.
Hey, Brady, lots to be excited about when it comes to the Seahawks. One, I was excited that McDonald got to the podium as quickly as he did and kept it short and sweet and got out of there, but we're talking football. My main concern going in was Sam Howell. I wanted to see if he was the gamer that Mike McDonald described him as. How would you break down his performance?
Yeah, I thought Sam Howell looked good. And for people who haven't been out at training camp watching practice every day, I mean, you wouldn't realize how much better he looked in that game than he has in practice. And, the way that I think Mike McDonald described it, the way I've heard it described from other people in the organization as well, is that he is a gamer. And I was I was a little suspect of that bump just because, the one thing that he's really seemed to struggle with in practice is the accuracy. And I wondered, okay, well, how is your accuracy going to get better when you go from practice, the controlled environment of practice where you're not getting hit, where pass rushers are obviously letting up before they get to you? How is your accuracy going to get better in an actual game setting? And I thought it was. It wasn't perfect. He sort of threw a ground ball to, I think, Laviska Shenault in the flat, and that ball to George Holani near the goal line maybe could have been put in a little better spot, but he was a lot better. And I thought the quick decision-making was good. You've seen his legs in training camp, which has been probably the thing he's done best in practice is use his legs in escape situations. And you saw him do that when he sort of got out of that would-be sack in the backfield. And, I mentioned the accuracy. It wasn't great. The numbers weren't great. I think he was 16 of 27, but 3 of those were throwaways. And I think the Seahawks will certainly take a throwaway over Sam Howell, forcing the ball into a place where he shouldn't go. Remember, he led the NFL with 21 interceptions last season. So throwaways aren't the end of the world for him. And I just thought that he was, I imagine that for a guy who has been struggling in practice the way he has, I imagine that would probably do some good things for his confidence.
I thought it was notable that D. Eskridge was one of the veterans playing late into the game. He was playing in the fourth quarter. Obviously, he needs to impress on special teams to make this roster. So my question instead, Brady, is who he's kind of competing against. Like if D. Eskridge were to make this team, who's the odd man out at the tail end of that wide receiver battle?
Yeah, I mean, you're probably talking about either Derek Young or Laviska Shenault, and you obviously saw both of those guys play quite a bit earlier in that game than D. Eskridge did, which to me is a good sign of kind of where that pecking order stands right now. I thought Shenault had a good game, not just with the 44-yard kickoff return, but he also had, I think, the 2 catches on bubble screens for 31 yards and had a nice gain on an end around, and that's really how he's been used the last couple of years in Carolina as a guy who you just get the ball to him at or behind the line of scrimmage and you let him do the rest from there. And I think the same reason he's good at that is the same reason he's good as a kickoff returner. So, Shenault, I was looking at his contract. I believe most of his $1 million and change contract is guaranteed. So that tells me that I don't want to say he's a lock. You never know. Guys get surprisingly cut all the time, but I would say that the fact that they guaranteed most of his contract suggests that they thought when they signed him that he was going to make the team. And look, Derek Young was a guy they drafted in the 7th round a couple years ago, and he can do a lot of things. You haven't really seen him consistently be a contributor for them, but he is built different, as they say. He's a big guy who can run and who can play special teams and can even do some of that same stuff out of the backfield that we were just talking about. So I would say it's probably between those 2 guys, figuring that obviously the top 3 are set with the Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba and Lockett, and that I think Bobo is certainly looks like he's going to be that number 4 guy. So you're talking about who's going to be 5 and maybe 6 if they do keep 6.
One of the positions I was looking at was the safety spot. Saw Jay Love back there, Wallace as well. Wanted to see how McDonald was going to use Julian Love. Was going to drop him into the box more often or keep him deep. Obviously, preseason, you're not going to do a lot. But I saw a guy named Wallace out there making plays, man. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, he had the big hit that led to Kobe Bryant's interception. And, Kayvon Wallace is really stood out in practice just because he's a guy that you hear, sort of the way that you hear Devin Witherspoon. You might actually hear Kayvon Wallace more. He just seems like a high energy, high intensity kind of guy. And that was a pretty big play for them. I think they signed him with the thought that he could really compete for that 3rd safety spot when they bring 3 safeties on the field at the same time. And I think Kobe Bryant, he's a guy who seems like he could be on the bubble, and he really hasn't stood out in training camp so far from a playmaking standpoint, but he certainly stood out in that game with that big play. And so I think the thing that Kobe Bryant has going for him is, he does provide value as a backup safety, as maybe that 4th safety, and he also obviously can back up at nickel, which he played as a rookie a couple of years ago. The thing there is that, Artie Burns has also shown that he's capable of playing that spot, and he's actually played there quite a bit, and they've even used Artie Burns at nickel, in keeping Devin Witherspoon on the outside in some situations. And so the fact that Artie Burns is having as strong of a camp as he is, that makes me wonder if Kobe Bryant maybe is fighting for a roster spot.
The Connor Williams signing became official for Seattle. They end up trading Nick Harris. What's the kind of impact and importance of that? What's the move tell us, the official signing of Connor Williams, and how important could that signing be?
Yeah, that's big, just because I think this offensive line had a number of question marks, beyond the health question mark with A. Lucas. And I think it was a matter of, even if all those guys were healthy, do they still have enough talent to be a good offensive line? And I think the Connor Williams signing eases that part of the question quite a bit. I mean, this is a guy who was having a pretty good year last year before he tore his ACL December 11th. I talked with a scout from another team and just asked him, how good do you think Connor Williams can be if he's healthy? And the scout thought that he could be an above average starting center, which, that may not wow people, but you got to realize, like, the reason they made that move is because they didn't feel like they could be anywhere close to that with the two guys that they had playing that spot, being Oluwatimi and Nick Harris. And you saw them trade Nick Harris to Cleveland as they announced the Connor Williams signing on Saturday. So I think Williams eases the talent question, but he also, that's another kind of health question that they've got to answer. And I don't know what it says. The fact that they traded Nick Harris, I don't know what that says about how quickly they think Connor Williams can get back on the field. I think the other part of that is that, look, it's not only the fact that he's coming off a torn ACL from December 11th, so that would be a very quick turnaround. He reportedly did pass his physical when he came here a month ago. But there's also the question of how quickly he can get up to speed in this offense and learn all the blocking and protection schemes and all that. So we will hear from Mike McDonald today. And so I think we will get a good idea from him about what they think of his chances and how quickly he can get back on the field. But certainly that's a big talent upgrade for them, and one that I think they really needed, just given the other questions along their offensive line.
Me being a former undrafted free agent, I understand how hard it is to kind of improve your status in one preseason game. I think you got to put a couple or maybe even three together. But after that first preseason game, is there someone that kind of caught your eye that said, all right, well, maybe you didn't get a lot of reps in practice. You got some reps out here on a Saturday, and I like what you're doing. You got a name for me?
Probably George Holani. Yeah, and you saw him get some nice playing time somewhat early on in that game. Had the touchdown, I think, after they got set up with the short field from the Kobe Bryant interception. And he just sort of looks like a more compact Zach Charbonnet, and he runs with some of that same, physicality. And I thought he helped himself in that game. I also thought Kenny McIntosh did some good things, and he was sort of the guy ahead of him. I think he had 8 carries and maybe a touch or two out of the backfield as a receiver. And it makes sense that they got Kenny McIntosh quite a bit of playing time, just because he really did not play. I don't think he played a single offensive snap last season. So they're still, I think, in the mode of needing to see what they have in Kenny McIntosh. And I think from the sounds of it, it's those two guys, McIntosh and George Holani, competing for that number 3 running back spot. And I would also say that another undrafted rookie running back, Kobe Lewis from Florida Atlantic, he's had a nice summer, and he looks like a guy who is capable of sticking around in some capacity, probably more likely on the practice squad, but he looks like a player, man. And when you watch the blitz pickup drill that they do with the running backs and the linebackers, he is typically one of the better performing guys in that drill. And that obviously goes a long way when you're trying to, carve out when you're trying to make a team and eventually carve out a role as, a third down back or some sort of change of pace type role.
Last one for me, Brady. We know that Mike McDonald was bringing in like a great defensive mind, right? So that's not a surprise when we go, oh, the defense is looking really solid, or, oh, he seems so smart. Like, no one's shocked by that. I'm hoping you can give us maybe just a look behind the scenes at what else stands out about Mike McDonald so far. Is he more disciplined? Is he, I don't know, is he more steadfast? Like, what's another quality that you're noticing about this program under Mike McDonald?
It really is the discipline and just how demanding he is. And I think Pete Carroll just had a very different coaching style. These guys are sort of on different ends of that spectrum. And Carroll was all about, empowering players and figuring that, you're going to get the most out of them, not when you yell and scream at them, but when you sort of treat them like you would treat your kid. And I think that, and maybe that's true. Maybe that did get a lot out of those guys. I think it's also fair to say that when players didn't have enough self-discipline, that also, lent itself to, some players not being disciplined enough. And so we've just seen the willingness, and I've heard it too. I've actually seen it firsthand. I saw Mike McDonald kind of light up an undrafted rookie the other day for doing something after practice that he wasn't supposed to be doing. And I just never, in 14 years of covering Pete Carroll, I never saw him once do that. And so you're talking about coaches with very different coaching and leadership styles. And Carroll, that's not to say that one is right or the other is right. Carroll, and he's obviously the most successful coach in franchise history. And that style obviously worked well enough for him. At least it did for a good amount of time. But that has been the one thing that has stood out, just the Mike Macdonald's willingness to maybe hold players more accountable and be really demanding in different ways.
He is ESPN's Brady Henderson. You can read his coverage of the Seahawks at ESPN.com. Thanks so much, Brady.
Thanks, Brady.
All right, thanks, guys. See you.
See ya. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory. Going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, let's talk about bang for your buck. What 2 pass catchers are giving the Hawks the most value after watching the film from this Saturday?
Well, Brady just alluded to him, but I'm not thinking Derek Young. I'm thinking Jake Bobo and Laviska Shenault. They were both on punt cover, punt return. They were on the kickoff cover team. They did just about everything to help this ball club out. Also had a couple catches themselves. Jake Bobo had a first down catch. They threw a couple bubble screens to Shenault. He had that 44-yard game. 81 is going to play. 81 is an impressive receiver. If you haven't been watching Laviska, man, take a good look at him. Not only when he has the football, but when he's blocking, when he's on special teams. There's a lot of bang for your buck over there with Shenault. That's going to make it hard for guys like Derek Young to make the team. I'm sitting there talking to the pregame and postgame team, and we're wondering how many receivers are they going to keep. Last year they kept 6 receivers coming out of training camp. The last 2 seasons they had. I think this could be the year where they keep 7. Because you got guys like Bobo, Young, and Shenault who can help on special teams. He mentioned Helena, the running back who was competing for that 3rd spot with Kenny McIntosh. He's competing with those guys for special team reps. Usually running backs, linebackers, DBs have the advantage when it comes to running down and tackling guys on special teams. But to see these receivers insert themselves into that mix, I think is a great thing because they all bring something different to the table. 81 can play. I'm happy he's on this roster right now.
2nd down. What did you love about the little we saw from Ryan Grubb's offense?
So we go into this game and people are saying, are we just going thinking that we're not going to see much from this offense? And you might looked at that game and said, I didn't see much, but I saw double tight. I saw double tight with a wing. I saw double tight using the offensive lineman as a tight end. I saw empty. I saw bunch. I saw 2x2, 3x1. I saw 2x2 stack. I saw pre-snap movement. I saw gap scheme when it comes to the run game. I saw a lot. And then I'm looking at this offense and I tell myself, there's a lot to build off of here. If this is vanilla for Grubb, all the stuff that I saw, I can't wait to see what it looks like when you open up the playbook, man. And the run game was special. Special in the sense that I like the way that he was approaching the game. The pass game was simple, but pre-snap wise, there was a lot to digest. So as a high school coordinator, I look at everything that I saw in the pre-snap, then I start thinking about, all right, what can he do off of this concept? What can he show off of this run? The possibilities are great. Gino said himself, there are a lot of plays he's never seen before. So if this was vanilla for Ryan Grubb, man, I can't wait to see what week 1 looks like.
Kind of a related question. I was watching part of the national broadcast, not our local broadcast. So the national broadcast was unimpressed overall. Not in a bad way, but they were joking about, hey, we've seen some creative stuff, like a cornerback rush or whatever from the defense, but the offense has been kind of vanilla. Do you think that was an oversight or not fair?
Oh, yeah. There was a... Sam Howell had a read option that he probably should have kept, but he handed the football off. There are some things to build off of right there. It looks and feels vanilla because it's basic concepts. You're running a counter, you're running a trap, you're running a zone, but it's the way he's setting it up to where you have to look towards the future and say, okay, what would I call off of that?
Yeah.
And because I saw so many formations alone in the pre-snap movements, I go, that's where it gets where the flavor comes. When the ball is snapped, it gets vanilla. But before the ball is snapped, there's so much that he's doing that I can see him building off of.
You just have to be a really great offensive mind to get it, like Bum.
Gas me up.
Or me or Curtis. 3rd down. What offensive lineman impressed you the most this weekend?
Man, Tomlinson, I really liked what he did out there. So
veteran.
The first time he kind of grabbed my attention was I'm looking at the offensive line and seeing how they're going to handle some of the pressure that the Chargers were bringing. There's something called a fan block. Fan just means your guard and your left tackle, you kind of slide outside. It means you have a guy rushing in a wide 9 technique for your tackle, and then maybe you have a linebacker walk down and he's in that B gap. So now instead of Lincoln looking at the backer who's over him, they got to fan out. They got to slide their protection out, and now the center gets the guy in the B gap. Anyway, it's football stuff, right? But them having the composure to pick that up, I go, okay, you're communicating. Fan blocking that, I love that. Then they pulled him on a trap look, and he gets up the field. He's blocking his guy. It's beautiful. Then they're in pass pro. And the one tech stunts, it goes the other way. Linebacker wraps around, he handles it. He just looks like he was composed the whole time. And that's what I think one of the pieces that this offense has been missing is a guard who can handle everything, who can talk to his tackle, who you're going to have a young tackle eventually with Abe Lucas over there and tell him, hey, fan, we're fanning this. Or feel that the pressure is coming off of that B-gap defender and rotating over and not panicking, sliding over and switching his hands. He just looked composed. Big Ray pointed out, too, that Christian Haynes, he felt looked really good during the game as well. But I'm looking at the OG, Lincoln Tomlinson. I was impressed. Yes, it was against 2s and 3s, but if he didn't do that against them, why would I expect him to play well against the 1s? I think it's been a great pickup so far. Can't wait to see what it looks like with Connor Williams at the center spot.
It's like getting a sweep against a team that's bad. It's like, well, yeah, but you should.
Yeah.
Like, that's good. That's still good.
Exactly.
4th down. What stood out to you when you looked at the Seahawks defense?
Hats to the football. They were flying around. Brady touched on it a bit that they haven't been practicing tackling or whatnot. Obviously, not in training camp. You're not taking your teammates to the ground. But when it was time to go, they were making plays. Wallace had a big hit going across the field, hitting, I believe it was a tight end, which led to Kobe Bryant's interception. Byron Murphy was in the backfield a few times, didn't make the tackle, but influenced the pocket in the run. Everyone was where they were supposed to be, and it felt like they played with an energy. I told the pre- and post-game team, I said, if the 2s and 3s are flying around with this intensity, I can't wait to see what the 1s look like when they're all out there together. So it seemed like they were enthusiastic. They wanted to be there. They had gap integrity. They were flying to the football. It was a solid debut for that defense. I'm excited to see how they develop off of that.
It was really cool. I thought we'll talk about it at noon more, but it was really encouraging to see Uchenna, and he's someone that we haven't, I don't think, talked about nearly enough, even though every time we mention him, we say that. Like, every time we talk about Uchenna Nwosu, it's like, we haven't talked about him nearly enough. But it's because he was never, like, the guy. Like, when he was signed, it's not like he was the biggest free agent signing. Last year he got hurt midway through the season, and that ended up being hugely impactful, but we didn't even realize it at the time how impactful that was. He looked so good. Like, he dominated a 2nd and 3rd down against the Chargers with some of their starters still in.
Yeah. Again, one game, preseason, but you needed to see some of this stuff.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. An Olympian is being forced to return her medal as part of a controversial decision from judges. We'll tell you what you need to know next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Sam Howell, gamer. That's what we were told. And it's so far from what I can tell, it's absolutely true. The player we saw on the field no way resembled the guy in practice. He had command. There was more accuracy, not perfect, but more accuracy. His mobility showed up.
You never have a perfect performance. Even yours truly, who came back to open the CenturyLink Field, Salk, who thought, even then, but I thought Sam was super, super solid.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, if you're taking Viagra or any other pill for ED, I want you to ask yourself this question. Do I want to continue to do this for the rest of my life? If you're like most men, the answer is no. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we can restore blood flow naturally without pumping your body full of chemicals like you've been doing. Guys, you need to come in today and fix this problem now. Why are you putting this off? Viagra's not going to magically start working next week, and you don't want to use shots or go under the knife. Call us today and speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today like the thousands of men who already have. If you're tired of dealing with ED or Peyronie's disease, then call West Coast Men's Health.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
At State Roofing, you can trust us to get your project done right because we prioritize quality and excellence in everything we do. Take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest today, and don't pay until 2025. Call State Roofing at 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Want to listen to Seattle Sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle Sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Motorcycle riders, Bob Stelton here. I love this time of year. The weather's nice. I'm out on the bike as often as possible. And knock on wood, I've never been in an accident. But maybe you have. And if you have, you need to call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. First of all, your case evaluation is completely free. They don't get paid until you get paid. And they should be the first call you make after a motorcycle accident. And I'll tell you why. Because they fight for you, the motorcycle rider, and your family to get you the compensation you deserve. With over 20 years of experience, they're going to handle your case with the respect and dignity you deserve. The insurance company wants to get away with paying out the lowest settlement they can as quickly as they can. With the Law Tigers, you don't have to handle your motorcycle case alone. So why should you hire Law Tigers after an accident? They can help you get your motorcycle and gear repaired or replaced. Law Tigers knows how important your motorcycle is to you, so after you've been in an accident, give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. They will get you the help that you need. Again, that's 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or lawtigers.com. The Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Mateer Law Firm, LLC.
We are Seattle Sports.
Strike three called and the ball game is over. They sweep aside the New York Mets.
The home of the Mariners.
And this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Lonnie. Lonnie, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
We've been with the same insurance company for over 32 years. And my husband said, come on, let's at least try it. And that was the smartest thing we ever did because we save thousands, literally thousands a year on our insurance. They improved it. It cost me less, and it was a higher value. You know, I can't say enough good things about Scott because everything that he said he'd do, he did.
What do you tell your friends they can expect when they make the call to First Mark?
An easy, profitable, and actually pleasant call. They genuinely are trying to help you, and you can't beat that. We were silly to wait so long. A couple other friends that have called, too, they said, why didn't you tell us about this sooner?
You see, Lonnie did it. My family did it. You got to do it, and it's totally free. Go take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Do you have a musty, damp, or wet basement? As the soil around your home becomes saturated, pressure pushes water through the tiniest of cracks and joints in your walls and floor. Moisture and water can not only damage your basement with mold and musty odors, it can also impact the health of your family. Matt Vey can install a custom-designed waterproofing system, transforming your basement into dry, healthy, usable space.
Do it the right way, the Matt Vey way. Rock built, rock solid.
Having quality care matters. So, let's talk about it. Nobody likes not feeling their best, but it's comforting to know top local doctors are nearby when you need one. Optum Care Washington is here with exceptional primary and specialty care, from OBGYN and family medicine to urology and gastroenterology. We also accept most Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, with over 45 Puget Sound locations, Optum offers peace of mind close to school, work, and home. Discover all the ways Optum is here for you at yourhealthwa.com.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline on Bump and Stacy, reading you the top stories you're going to see and hear about on your own timeline. And we're going to start with one of the most controversial from the weekend. U.S. gymnastics star Jordan Chiles is being ordered to return her bronze medal due to a scoring error on her floor routine and an appeal from Team Romania. Here's what happened. So Jordan completes her floor routine, as does everyone, but these two gymnasts from Romania get identical scores, and then this Romanian gymnast named Ana Barbosu finishes with a higher score overall. It's like 13.66 or something. So Jordan, the judge of USA Gymnastics, Cecil Landy, says, wait a minute, the difficulty score on Jordan's isn't right here. And if the difficulty score was right, which it has nothing to do with execution, right? It's like, here's the thing that she's going to do. This is what the point system is. The judges didn't get this right. And so I'm going to submit an inquiry and I'm going to complain to them and I'm going to say, hey, you guys actually, like the grading rubric basically that you were using needs to be adjusted. So she files a complaint and initially the judges agree. They go, oh my gosh, you're right. We missed 1/10 of a point on the rubric and that gives her enough points to finish just ahead of the Romanian gymnast. She should be third. Our bad. That's totally on us. So she's awarded the bronze medal, and it's actually celebrated there with her getting bronze, Simone getting silver, and Rebecca Andrade of Brazil getting gold. So then the Romanian Gymnastics Federation goes, wait a minute. They know that Jordan Childs was right with that difficulty score, but this judge got this in late. She complained a minute late after the deadline, and so we're going to complain. So then the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, goes, you know what, you're right. Even though the judges were wrong, she was late submitting this inquiry. It's like a 1-minute deadline, and so we're going to undo all of this. Jordan needs to give her medal back, and it's going to the Romanian gymnast, even though Jordan technically should have finished with a higher score.
First off, why 1 minute? More time, please.
Right?
Throw like 5-6 minutes on that thing.
1 minute.
You are, I would imagine after the routine is done, you're talking to your athlete. You are either celebrating or talking about corrections or something. There is some coaching and some conversation that's going on during that period. 2, what about these judges? They accepted it. They said, fine, it's okay. Now we're going to adjust these points, and you go ahead and win that thing. I feel sorry for the young lady from Romania because she was celebrating at one time. She had her flag up. She's looking up at the scoreboard, and then she realizes, hold up, we didn't get this thing right. Childs gets this. The whole thing is just sloppy. I think that there needs to be room for error. The thing that bugs me the most is, Romania, just take the L. Take the L. Her routine was more difficult. She executed. You know what it is. These coaches, it's almost like me begging to be invited to a party. Like, oh, man, please invite me to the party.
Right. That's a perfect analogy.
No, I don't know. If you didn't invite me to the party, I don't want to go to the party. Yeah. If I didn't win that bronze medal, I don't want the bronze medal. Now, I say that here as a man who will never win any type of gold, silver, or bronze medal, but I would imagine there's some type of pride that comes into knowing that you did this legitimately. So the process is all jacked up.
Yeah.
Extend the time. The judges need to be held accountable. And if I'm Romania, I don't want that hand-me-down bronze medal. I'm going to FedEx it over there to Romania after chilling him. She's from Washington too, ain't she? From Vancouver? Is that the young lady who's from Washington?
Oh my God,
yeah,
I love
think
that.
so. Yeah, so this whole thing is all messed up, man.
Wally from Snoqualmie says she was 4 seconds late. The 253 says USA has video proof they challenged at 47 seconds and reaffirmed at 55 seconds. She's going to get her bronze.
All right, let's get it right there.
This is something that has a deadline that's that quick and strict when it should be about awarding the best score.
Yeah.
And also, like you said, I feel bad for the Olympic gymnasts themselves because this isn't Jordan's fault and it's not Anna's fault. They went out and did their routines and they tried their very best. The judges had a scoring error that then led to all of this. And it led to one girl initially having the Olympic medal taken from her, sobbing, then getting it back, but now being in this awkward place where it was taken from Jordan, and now this girl's the villain. You know what I mean? Like, these girls did nothing wrong. These athletes did nothing wrong. It's all on the judges for making it messy and on this really stupid system.
1 minute.
Yes.
I can't decide what I want to eat in 1 minute sometimes.
Not even.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Change the process.
So anyways, we are going to hide the medal is what we're going to do. As a country, we are hiding the medal,
right.
and we're not giving it back.
This
and
is the new national treasure.
Romania can pry it from my cold, dead fingers is what I have to say about
All right,
that.
you
That's
tell
our
Romania,
medal.
come take it.
Yeah, exactly. Come take it. This is U.S. medal. This is a U.S. bronze. All right, next up, Victor Robles stole the show on Sunday Night Baseball when he was mic'd up in center field.
Repeating itself here. Deep to it, now launches in, and it's a home run for Jorge Polanco.
Hey, I usually do the breakdowns, but I am going to let you describe what you saw.
That was during Victor yelling during Jorge Polanco's home run. Here's him talking about his pet monkeys.
So growing up, I was watching monkeys on TV. And I saw like how fun they doing jumping around. And I described myself. I look monkey and I said myself on monkeys. And I just said, sorry guys, I have to make the play.
the catch and threw a cannon back to the infield.
Hey, you gotta catch it!
Wait, so do you
A little bit too hard, sorry, mate.
Do you have monkeys running around the house?
No, they have their own house.
There's so much from that I love.
So much.
So much.
So one, only in baseball can you have a live in-game interview and the guy say, "Hold up, let me make this play real quick." Two, the monkeys have their own house apparently, which is amazing. I love to see how you have housed your monkeys there, Robles. And three, listening to him speak, it reminds me of, you seen that movie White Chicks with the Wayans brothers? When the first scene is they're Cuban officers in a bodega or something like that. Yeah, and they're just, and I just kept seeing that in my head. I love the accent. I love his personality. Where has he been hiding all these months? And just the way he cut off the interview to make a play, then jump right back into it. It's awesome. And I loved having Victor Robles mic'd up. I think that did wonders for the Mariners PR team.
Yeah.
And we should see more of this.
I just love, I wanted this story to go on and never end. I love the idea of, I see monkeys when I was a kid having so much fun. I see a lot of myself in monkeys. They like having fun. I like having fun. And the final line of, no, they don't live with me. They have their own house.
Their own house. They
gotta
live in a mother-in-law in the backyard.
I know. I love it so much. Oh, my God. Going back to our last story, I've seen so many texters say, okay, why don't they just all share the bronze? Apparently, I don't know if it's the Federation or the Romanian Gymnast Federation are not allowing them to share, even though the gymnasts themselves would share.
Really?
Yes.
Man, too much pride.
Right? I just want to say, a great look of sportsmanship is the Romanian gymnast and Jordan being let's just share it. Our scores were so similar, let's share it.
The last Olympics, there was either a high jumper or a long jumper to where they had similar scores or the same score, obviously, and they shared a bronze. That's the easy thing to do. Just let them both have one.
Also, how are you going to tell them they can't? If I'm going to share this bronze, I'm going to share the bronze.
And I'm the one who competed. A federation is telling me I can't share it? Come on.
Here I am saying it's mine. We've already decided it's ours. It's a USA bronze. I forgot. We're not giving it back. Next up, Jason Tatum's mom was not thrilled with Team USA's decision to bench her son throughout most of the Olympics. She tweeted to Dick Vitale, said, "Someone please let me know, is Jason Tatum injured? He hasn't received the playing time you would expect an all-NBA player to get." She said, "No, he's not, but if you find out what's going on, please let me know. Unacceptable," and makes all caps. No sense.
Here's the thing. Come on. I get that. That's mama. That's Mama Bear right there. She want her baby to go out there and play. But Mama Bear, he is all NBA. He won an NBA championship. He was the NBA Finals MVP. But this is for the world, Mama. This is for the world.
The world, Craig.
KD has scored more points than him. AD has scored more points than him. LeBron has scored more points than him. There's reason. And Anthony Edwards has scored more points. Devin Booker. It's not like he's being benched for some chumps out here. And it's about matchups. Steve Kerr is 5th all time with 4 championships in the NBA. I think he knows what he's doing a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, there's something about the matchups that didn't feel right for Tatum to be out there. Sometimes take it on the chin, move on. Halliburton did exactly that. Posted look, I showed up, I didn't contribute, but I got my gold medal. It's all good. It's not about you, Mama.
No,
it's about the US of A.
Can I also
we got
say
this.
Something?
Please do.
Tell me if I'm wrong, because the one thing that's most beautiful about a mother's love is she loves you no matter what, no matter how old you get. If I go home for Thanksgiving and I am not wearing socks, my mom, "Are you cold? Do you want socks? Are you freak cold? It's cold outside. I'll go get you socks. Are you hungry? Do you want eggs? I can make eggs. Do you want something else?" Moms are wonderful. There's something so special about the love a mother has, and it never ends. However, hear me out. When you reach a certain age, your mom needs to stop getting involved in your fights. And I know that Jason Tatum isn't out there telling his mom to do this. But there's a certain point where, and this is going to sound problematic, as a grown man and professional athlete, your mom needs to stay off Twitter and stop, defending you.
Stay off it.
And so maybe I'm wrong. Curtis, you look like you're about to tell me I'm wrong.
Well, we got some audio of Jason Tatum during the gold medal celebration.
It's a surreal feeling. We did it.
Stop.
We did it!
And then here was him in a Paris club after winning the gold medal.
I know everybody will wonder what would happen if we didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
King of originality.
Hey, Katie's mom is active on Twitter, too.
Yeah, but I like Katie.
She sits like courtside every one of his games.
The thing is, like, you can't control a mother's love. A mother will no matter what. And the thing is, should I ever become a mother, which I hope I'm fortunate enough to do, my child could be 50 and I'm still going to be on whatever version of X exists, typing with my mind because it's the future. Like, leave my baby alone. Like, I get it. But there's just a certain point where you go, maybe your son's in the Olympics and he's grown.
He got a gold.
Yeah, he got a gold. It's fine. It's fine. All right, you guys. Still to come, what caught my eye from a preseason game. Don't go anywhere.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
Here's Brian Wu of your Seattle Mariners.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
What's the vibe like?
The vibe is good. I mean, I think it's exciting after the trade deadline, and you get some new faces in, you get some new, some good vibes. But I think we all understand how good this group is and how good we can be. And I think everyone's kind of just trying to take it day by day. But there's definitely, an understanding of what the ultimate goal is.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
When you were young, all you wanted in the summer was an ice cream truck to roll by. Now, you just can't wait for the Harbor Freight parking lot sale to roll around. And it'll be here this weekend. Maybe you're looking to fill up that tool chest. Maybe you're looking for a tool chest to fill up. You'll save money either way. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until August 18th, 2024. While supplies last. Limitations apply.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
High five. Up top. Heck yeah! Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep. Dave's feeling it, but it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
It's not too late to become a 2024 Mariners season ticket member. Check out a Mariners Flex membership, a great option for fans who want the flexibility to choose their games and seats all summer long, while still enjoying the perks of being a member. With a Flex membership, you'll receive benefits like savings of 10% or more on tickets with no fees, access to exclusive pre-sales, year-round discounts at the team store and the box yard, and so much more. Go to mariners.com/flex to learn more about becoming a part of the Mariners family.
This is Seattle Sports.
Touchdown Seahawks! And it's Brady Russell, the second-year tight end.
The home of the Seahawks.
Roof now, pay later. Hi, I'm Sam Thomason, owner of State Roofing. Take advantage of our 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to a year. We've partnered with leading lenders to make the replacement or repair of your roof affordable. Flexible financing options are available to take the worry out of an unexpected expense. Call us today at 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule a free no-obligation estimate or visit us at stateroofing.com. That's stateroofing.com.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Have you been searching for a local, trustworthy group of professionals to assist with your mortgage? Hey, this is Brock Heward, and you can count on Tila Mortgage. They've been the go-to mortgage experts in Washington for over 25 years. If you are 62 or older and want to learn more about reverse mortgages, well, Tila can help you decide if it's the right choice for you. If monthly payments are impacting your credit score and just killing your cash flow, Tila can assist you in consolidating your debt with proven programs like a refinance loan or a home equity line of credit, a HELOC, enabling you to maintain your low fixed rate first mortgage. Additionally, if you're purchasing a new home, well, Tila can guide you through the ins and outs of a home loan as well. With hundreds of 5-star reviews, Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a trusted source for honest and ethical mortgage advice. Call Tila today at 206-766-8888 or
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Sinking or uneven concrete around your home? You need to call Matt Vey Foundation Repair.
Hi, I'm Matthew Cote with Matt Vey Foundation Repair. If you have an uneven, cracked driveway, sunken sidewalk, or sagging cement porch, we offer an easy and cost-effective solution.
When you call Matt Vey, you'll get a realistic bid, meticulous cleanup, and a lifetime warranty. No one else offers that kind of guarantee. For your free evaluation, call 8449-MATT-VEY or visit gomattvey.com.
Do it the right way, the Matt Vey way. Rock built, rock solid.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we've got our big takeaways, what caught our eye from the Seahawks preseason opening win against the Chargers. Before we get to it, though, 2 potential NFL trades that we should all be keeping an eye on. The news of one breaking just a couple minutes ago. Now, the trade hasn't officially happened, but it's wild, so we're going to tell you kind of what is happening. Hassan Reddick was acquired by the Jets in a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles back in April. April is when it became official. The Jets gave up a conditional third-round pick that would become a second-rounder in 2026 if Reddick reached 67% of playtime and 10 sacks. So that's what was happening. Now, as part of this trade, they did acquire Hassan Reddick's existing contract. That existing contract with Philadelphia had just 1 year remaining. Well, Hassan Reddick isn't happy with that. Hassan Reddick reached camp and thought, you know what, I want more guaranteed money. I know that I was acquired via trade, and that's great, but I want a different contract here. I want an extension before I hit the field. So he has not reported for camp at all. And according to Adam Schefter, today, requested a trade from the Jets before he has ever played a snap.
I'm sure this has happened before, but I've never heard of it happen.
Racking my brain, trying to think.
Especially not a high-profile athlete like this. You look at what he's getting paid this year. He's due to make $15 million this year. That's below his market value for sure. At the top of the list, guys who do what he does. Nick Bosa is getting $34 million. I don't think he can ask for that. But I'm looking at guys like maybe Montez Sweat, who's getting $24 million. You can ask for that. Max Crosby, who's getting $23 million a year. He can ask for that. I understand what he's doing because he's like, look, man, how old am I? 27, 28 years old, something like that. He's 29, actually. 29 years old. He's like, look, I only have so many years left in this thing. But don't you think that should have been negotiated before he committed to his new squad? Something ain't right here. This is, I think this is what happens when you have buyer's remorse. If you're, I guess he bought the contract, so to speak, and he's looking at the contract and saying, well, actually, let me reevaluate myself and what value I bring to this team and how the league looks at me. This ain't right, but the timing of it is all jacked up. My question now is there going to be somebody who wants to pick up this contract and extend him? That's what he's looking for, more money and more security. At 29 years old, he should be looking at that because we know that once you hit your 30s, man, something happens to your body and you might not perform at the same level. So, yeah, this is messy over there. I've never heard of it. I'm sure it's happened before, but not with this high profile of an athlete.
Now, anytime you trade for an athlete who's in a contract, you know that athlete has all the leverage. For instance, we all knew the Seahawks would have to pay Jamal Adams a ton of money because when they traded for Jamal Adams, he was still on his rookie deal. So when you trade and you acquire that player, you inherit that contract. And you know that player knows You got to extend them. You can't make this trade not worth it. Now, this trade was not as high stakes as the Jamal Adams trade, where obviously Seattle gave up 2 first-rounders and had to make him the highest paid safety at the time. The Jets needed to just offer an extension. You don't need to make him the highest paid edge rusher, but you do need to make an extension immediately. Now, apparently they did. Rich Cimini, who covers the Jets for ESPN, said apparently the Jets did try to sign him to an extension, but his camp rejected that. Meanwhile, they won't negotiate with a player who's not in camp because he's not actually showing up to camp. And during that time bump, he is accrued $1 million in fines.
That's what I don't understand. Just hold in. Show up.
Right.
Don't do anything. Just hold in.
Show up.
The only holdouts that make sense are when you're on your rookie contracts, like a CeeDee Lamb holdout. He doesn't have to show up because as soon as things get worked out, they can just toss all the fines to the side and you're good to go. A guy like Hassan Reddick, if you are showing your face, you are with your teammates, you're in the meeting rooms, it gives the team more incentive to say, all right, well, he cares. He wants to be here. Let's go ahead and get something done. Holdouts never make sense to me, but I guess when you have money like him, $1 million ain't nothing.
I wonder what the edge rusher average annual value is right now. There's one report that says Hassan Reddick was looking for a deal worth between $25 and $28 million per year.
So we got Allen with the Jaguars. He's getting 28. Brian Burns, Giants, 28. T.J. Watt, 28. Bradley Chubb, 22.
So he wants to be top 4.
Yeah, he wants to be around the 20s. Getting around 20, 22, I think he's fine.
I mean, you could make the case of like, well, it doesn't matter if I'm the best edge rusher. If I'm your most important player, then you have to pay me. But I don't know. It doesn't sound like the Jets
I don't think the
willing to
Jets
do it.
are looking at this and saying, we need him to have success this year.
And also, would the Eagles have given up a top 3-4 edge rusher for a conditional 3rd-round pick in return? I don't think so either. Okay, moving on. Another trade we already are keeping an eye on is obviously one involving Brandon Ayuk. Adam Schefter was on with Pat McAfee this morning and gave an update.
Those other teams were interested. But again, you got to satisfy Ayuk and the 49ers. There wasn't a team out there, at least there hasn't been to date, that could satisfy both, that could meet the 49ers compensation and meet Ayuk's price and be a place that he was willing to go. Because once it's a place he doesn't want to go, he doesn't have to accept the deal.
You know, it does seem like that's a lot of parties to make happy. A place he wants to go, paying him the money he wants, and giving the 49ers what they want, which is presumably a pass catcher of some kind and draft capital in return.
Yeah, there's too many people involved in the decision-making. When the Niners have some type of interest in, okay, what are you going to give me? Ayuk, it's like, one, I got to like the team and like the contract. It's going to be too difficult. The easiest thing right now is for the 49ers just to give him what he wants. The Niners are saying this is their pushback. Well, we got to pay Brock Purdy. You're going to have to pay Debo. You're going to have to pay all these other teams or other guys to keep teams intact. The Miami Dolphins pay Tua and 2 receivers. They're good. The Eagles pay their quarterback and 2 receivers. They're good. There's a way to get this done. So what's the holdup with the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk getting this thing done? It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it's clear to me and to you that either the 49ers, well, this is clear. The 49ers don't value Brandon Ayuk as much as Brandon Ayuk values himself, right? If that was true, he'd have this contract.
Yep.
He clearly wants more than the 49ers are willing to offer. The question is not just whether or not another team wants to pay Brandon Ayuk what he thinks he's worth, but whether he wants to play for them. Like, there may be a team out there that's like, yeah, we'll give you that contract.
Yeah.
But are they close to touching a Super Bowl? He's leaving a sure NFC contender.
He's looking at teams like, who's Basuda right now?
Right, maybe
the Carolina Panthers.
right?
Like, hey, we'll take him. We'll take him over here in Carolina.
Would you take less to stay with the 49ers if you were Brandon Ayuk?
No, you got to take as much money as you can at this
That's
point in your career. You know football is. You get hurt one year, they cut you, it's a wrap.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. We are sticking with the NFL here, talking about what caught our eye in the Seahawks preseason week 1.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Who had the best weekend in the Mariner uniform, Brock? And you could choose your favorite starting pitcher.
Logan was the best.
Think so?
He's got a .87 whip. He's number 1 in baseball. But he's thrown 100
a couple of if he starts.
54 innings, number 3 in baseball. He's got a 3.1 WAR on your team.
This question is not about who's been the better pitcher this year.
For the 5th time, he's gone 7+ shutout innings
this weekend.
Yeah, it was Logan.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
You have to have a high level of trust. As much as I love to think that they trust me, yeah, our family name is trusted, but it's because of those individual interactions with our people that those folks have had over the years. That's where they build their trust with the relationship.
Todd Johnson believes it can take a lifetime to earn someone's trust and just 5 minutes to lose it.
When someone walks in off the street, they don't necessarily are just going to hand you their trust. You've got to prove that you've earned it and deserve it, and then they'll open up to you. And so if a customer doesn't treat you great right away, that's okay. It's just because they've heard all these horror stories. Fixing the car might only be 10% of the story. They want to be heard. They want to feel valued. They want to feel understood. And if all you did was fix their car, then you probably didn't do your job.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Sure, you can fill up at any gas station, but at any gas station, could you score 2 tickets to a Seahawks game? Sure can't. So head to a 76 or Conoco station and turn your next pit stop into a touchdown. When you buy 8 or more gallons with the Fuel Forward app, you can enter to win 2 Seahawks tickets. Next stop, Lumen Field. See official rules for details. Valid July 29th to December 15th, 2024. Copyright 2024 Phillips 66 Company. All rights reserved.
This is Stacey Rost. Is that leaky faucet driving you crazy? Don't wait until it becomes a flood. Call Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air. At Ben's Plumbing, they pride themselves on 5-star service, where your satisfaction is their priority. Whether it's a stubborn clog or a complete plumbing overhaul, their team of dedicated professionals is here to help with no commission sales tactics. Just honest, reliable service you can count on. Call today at 206-789-5353 or visit Ben's.plumbing. That's Ben's.plumbing.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. It's important to know you have several options for treatment. I'm here with Dr. Meyer, Medical Director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, to talk about one of the best and technologically advanced treatment options, CyberKnife. Dr. Meyer, why is CyberKnife one of the best procedures to treat prostate cancer?
Well, treatment for prostate cancer can affect men's quality of life. It can affect their romantic life. It can affect their urine and bowel function. And the CyberKnife does the best job of preserving that function while having excellent cancer control rates.
What do your patients think of the CyberKnife treatment experience?
Well, at the Swedish CyberKnife, our patients are really satisfied with the experience. They report very few side effects, and we are seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later.
To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/CyberKnifeProstate or call 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
There's an old saying that a house is not a home, but the Mariners house, T-Mobile Park, is home to an awful lot. Home to plays you can't believe.
Right shot, diving catch. Holy smokes, what a play by Crawford.
Home to 6-foot salmon that don't swim, they sprint. And even home to hot dogs that fall from heaven. Hallelujah.
Everybody likes free food just falling from the sky.
Oh, yeah. And it's also home to 47,000 screaming faithful.
We have a sellout crowd. I mean, the folks are up there in the rafters.
T-Mobile Park is our house. Mariners fans make it our home. Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Don't miss out on the next Mariners homestand as Cal Raleigh and the crew take on the Giants and the Rays. It all starts with a 3-game set against San Francisco, Friday, August 23rd through Sunday, August 25th. Then score Mariners value game seats as low as $10 to all 3 games against Tampa Bay, Monday the 26th through Wednesday the 28th. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Strike 3 called and the ball game is over. The Mariners win it 12-1. They sweep aside the New York Mets.
You're listening to 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Georgia's #1 in the AP Top 25 preseason college football poll for the second straight year. Ohio State comes in at #2, while Oregon is #3. The Mariners swept the Mets over the weekend with a 3-game series, allowing just one run. That one run allowed over that series is tied for the fewest allowed over a 3+ game series in franchise history. But wait, there's more. Next up, the Mariners have an off day today before opening a road series against the Tigers, which means tonight at 7 p.m. you can still get your Mariners fix with extra innings hosted by Curtis Rogers.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. The Seahawks beat the Chargers in their preseason Week 1 opener, although I guess a win and a final score doesn't really matter. What matters is what we actually saw on the field in preseason Week 1. A lot of that is going to be in the first quarter, but that's not our only area of observation. So let's get to what caught my eye preseason edition. Bump, you're getting us started. What you got?
What caught my eye was that the way Ryan Grubb set up his offense to execute. It was fun to watch. I know that a lot of people think that it was boring, right? You didn't have the explosive plays. You didn't have this or that. But you got to take it for what it is. This was a preseason game where you cannot show a lot. So what does he do? Double tight, even sets, unbalanced sets, motion there, a shift there. So you got to look towards the future and say, I can see exactly what he's trying to do or what he's going to do when it's all said and done. The route concepts, we're not going to see the intricacies that we hear Gino talk about when it comes to that. But the pre-snap stuff, I really liked, and he also gave D. Eskridge a jet sweep. My man, let's go.
He did.
Let's
and
go.
D got the very first couple chances at punt return duties. And so, I mean, he really, I don't think he gets the upper hand just being a veteran, but you do get a chance to keep your spot. And I think that there's a benefit to having been a second-round pick, right?
Right.
The team's still like, what if? What if we
You're
can still
holding
make
on
the
to
most
hope.
of it, you know?
Just like me. Every day I hold on to hope for D. Eskridge.
I'm just saying, every day you hold, and look, there are things in my closet that still have tags, and I go, well, what if I can make this work? What if I actually do like this? That's how a team feels about a draft pick. It's just, well, we did invest in this, so let's see if we can make it work.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with D. Next up. You guys weren't the only ones impressed with the defense. Here's what Mike McDonald had to say postgame.
Man, I thought our front played really well. The back end was clean with the first couple guys. Felt their presence back there. I felt we tackled well, you know. So all the fundamentals, all that type of stuff. First time tackling for real, especially with the 1s and 2s. Felt like the guys were getting the ball were taking good angles for the most part.
And wasn't it great to see sure tackling in this game? Bump, the most frustrating thing from last year's defense wasn't just communication issues, it was tackling issues, right? Come on, just execute. And one thing that you can say about Mike McDonald's defense in Baltimore is not just that it was brilliant and not just that it's a great scheme, but I'm taking a quote from Mina Kimes, they would smack you in the mouth. That was a defense that knew how to tackle, that played hard. And we haven't had a chance to see that yet because it's just frankly not how players can execute their drills and execute their plays in training camp. So being able to see some sure tackling from starters, that was encouraging.
And it makes me think about the process. Like, what is Mike McDonald doing that Pete Carroll and his staff were not doing?
Good question.
Did they lose attention to detail because you have a lot of veterans and you feel like they're just going to be okay out there? These fresh eyes and these fresh techniques, did that allow these players to go out there and execute at a high level? You don't really know what it was, but we saw it look a lot crisper and cleaner out there. We saw a big hit in the middle of the field. It just felt better. Guys were where they're supposed to be, and once they got their hands on you, you were going down. So it was a great start. The 2s and the 3s were getting it done. If the 2s and 3s can do it at a high level, I can't wait to see what 75, 80 plays look like when we got #1 defense out there. Chinondewosa's doing it. Boye Mafia is doing it. It's fun, man. It's all about the fundamentals. Rule number 1, playing defense. Tackle. Get the ball carried to the ground.
Fundamentals can be fun.
Can be.
Did you see?
They're necessary,
it's
too.
Fundamental.
It's like reading. Reading is fundamental.
Okay, what you got?
All right. What stood out to me? The receivers were blocking their you-know-what's off when it comes to the run game. Yeah, JSN with a big block on, I believe, that safety rolling down on Kenny McIntosh's 14-yard run. I saw Jake Bobo getting active, Derek Young getting active. We saw LaVisca getting active. You have to want to block as a receiver, and you need to block if you want those big runs to happen. The offensive linemen take care of the first level. Then you get to that second and third level. That's all you. The big plays, the 60-yard gains usually come because wide receivers are out there blocking and taking pride in that. When I was in college, if you did not block, you were not seeing the football field. When I was in the league, if you did not block, you were not seeing the football field. It's essential to the run game. So to see these wide receivers take pride in that, I felt like a proud uncle out there watching these wide receivers block those guys out there.
Jake Bobo was on with Brock and Salk a couple days ago and said, look, if you're not guys 1 through 3, you need to be a great blocker. And I know that you've said that many, many times, and that's what you're implying with all of this is like, yeah, you should be doing that. JSN's guys 1 through 3. So I kind of like when the guys who don't need to excel with blocking, like we were joking about seeing Tyler Lockett doing blocking drills, and we were like, Tyler.
That's not what it does. A guy like Tyler, his job is just to stay in front. You just stay in front. You're not gonna blow anybody up. You're not going to pancake anybody.
No.
Just stay in front.
But I do especially love seeing, like, yeah, Jake Bobo, you got to block. Yeah, Drake Young, if you're out there, you got to block. But I love it when it's like DK didn't play, but like a DK or JSN that are getting it done too, because they don't necessarily need that to be the best part of their game.
Yeah.
So it's really encouraging.
Yep.
Next up. I know you're going to have some stuff on Byron Murphy, so I'm just going to start the first of probably a couple takeaways. Here's what Byron had to say after the game.
Man, it felt great. First time, first NFL game. Man, it was truly a blessing, but it was great, man. I was just really just very excited, from the first snap I was in to the last. I had fun, but, I'm just trying to continue to get better each and every day.
Yeah, and he looked great in this game. Again, it was a limited appearance, but he looked strong with a major tackle for loss. And I don't know that he's been the #1 player to stand out to me in camp, even on defense. I would say that's been Devin. But I was really encouraged by what I saw. What about you?
He looked strong. He looked like he understood pad level. I can't wait to see how he evolves when it comes to his hand placement and all that hand fighting that goes on there. There were several times where he's in the backfield and he's reaching, like the running back is just out of his grasp, like he's right there. Playing defensive line, it's all about getting out the football, playing big and small at the same time, and understanding your leverage. The way he is built, he's built to do exactly that. And the thing about D-line is you're not going to have to depend on him every single down. There's going to be a rotation coming in. We're still waiting to see what Cam Young looks like. You got Jay Reed in the mix. You got Leonard Williams. He doesn't have to be the guy right now. I think as the season progresses, you can see him getting more and more playing time, getting more and more comfortable out there. But a good debut for 9-1.
Can I just say how nice it is to have a defensive highlight from one of your drafted players? Like I remember last year, obviously I was so excited to get Devin Witherspoon, but when you were seeing the Eagles post a video, oh my God, look at Jalen Carter in this game. He's unbelievable. There was just a tinge of jealousy that I had of like, oh, that's nice. Good for you guys. I'm so happy. So to watch your defensive lineman manhandle a center, push him back, and then grab at first one hand a running back for a tackle for loss, that felt pretty good. I gotta say, I love a cornerback highlight, but it felt kind of good to have just a dude bulldozing through a line.
Yeah, it's violent down there in the trenches.
Different kind of highlight,
and
man.
he plays with violence, so that's a good start.
What's next?
Was it me?
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. What stood out to me is Sam Howell. He looked like a guy who understands how to play the game of football. It was a bit discouraging at times during training camp. You see him sell some balls up high, low, to the sideline. He just didn't seem comfortable. But some players just turn it on when it comes to Saturdays and Sundays, and he's one of those guys. The longer he's in this system, the longer he's with the Seahawks, we're going to see him improve at practice. It is what it is. He was a starter in this league for a reason, but you wanted him to prove it. I saw that. 16-27, 130, and 1 touchdown. Also ran the football a couple of times, used his legs to pick up a first down. He looked like a pro quarterback. He looked like the perfect backup for Geno.
Yeah.
Your backup is never going to be as good as your starter. We shouldn't expect that out of him, but he's young enough to where he can still develop and he can still learn. So to see him go out there and look like a professional was encouraging, because at times during training camp, it just didn't look like that.
Is there a benefit to having your backup quarterback be mobile, or is that just like, it's better if your guy just fits your system, or is there a real benefit to having a guy that can scramble and not improvise, but can kind of keep the chains moving?
Every quarterback from here on out that enters the NFL has to be somewhat mobile. You're not going to be able to stand there with the edge rushers are getting more athletic. These defenses are dialing up different kind of blitzes. You have to be able to extend plays and help your offensive coordinator out. So, yeah, it looks good that he's mobile, but you better be mobile, somewhat mobile. No more Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in this league.
All right, those were our takeaways. We're just going to take a second to go through a little bit of sound here. So we'll just go through some of the cuts. Speaking of Sam Howell, here were Sam's thoughts on what he made of Mike McDonald's first exhibition game.
Yeah, coach was great. So, first time for him. Obviously, first-time head coach, but he was great. I thought he did a good job. Did a good job of getting us ready for the game. Obviously, it's a little different when it's the preseason, but he did a great job. He was great before the game, great in the huddle before the game and stuff. So he's doing a great job, and guys are buying in for sure.
I thought it was really, really.
Who was that?
That was Sam Howell.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was really encouraging because he wasn't the only player to just kind of like talk about what he saw from Mike McDonald. I'm really encouraged, and I can't tell if I'm biased. Like I'm excited for the season, so I'm reading into positivity, or if there's a genuine excitement here or something to be excited about.
Let's say there's only about 14 to 20 guys on that roster who have never been around an NFL head coach before. Most of those guys have seen it before. So to have them come out and have all this praise for him about how he prepares and how he was on the sideline, I think that's a good thing. If that was an issue, if he didn't seem confident or poised on that sideline, then they're not even talking about that. They're finding a way to dance around the question and make it about something else. The fact that they're so open about it and revealing this information, letting you know, like, look, I'm feeling the guy, is a good thing, man. I wish I was in the booth with Rabel and Wyman, just so I can put binoculars on him and just follow him up and down the sideline just to see what his demeanor's like. But from everything I heard is that he has the right intensity, but he also has that right connectiveness, right? He can connect with a person in those moments, because in football, you're going to have moments where the drama is high, and you still got to be able to connect and kind of relate to somebody and convey a message. He did that during a preseason game. You know what I saw, though, that I didn't like?
What?
Jim Harbaugh did not show him enough love after that game.
Oh.
Like, I saw Mike going over there, running over, shook his hand. Harbaugh gave him a handshake and dip, but it wasn't a handshake like, yeah, we've worked together before. I'm proud to see you do your thing. It was in and out, man. I was like, okay, I see you.
I'm watching you, Jim. I'm watching you. I liked also, so this is another quote from a player, this one being Byron Murphy. Now, this isn't directly about Mike McDonald, Bump, but keep in mind that a lot of what we talked about last year was about communication issues. All right, take a listen.
Right. I mean, yeah, because, that's something we work on, week in, week out. We big on communication. Mike McDonald, he preached that a lot, communicate. That's what we do, communicate, in order to be successful on the field, everybody got to communicate. That's the only way you can do your job. You got to talk. Just everybody just being on one page, staying the course.
I am by no means saying Pete Carroll didn't understand the value of communication. Pete Carroll led this team to its, not its first, but led them to a Super Bowl and its first Super Bowl win. He will always have that. Mike McDonald hasn't won a single NFL game as head coach, so no one's crowning him. However, communication will be a theme that I think you and I continue to track all season long.
It's different kind of communication. You're essentially going to say a lot of the same things that Pete Carroll said. It's just coming from a 37-year-old who sees the world and the game differently at some point. Like I'm dang near 40. I'm a man, right? And I have one of my employees, my best employee. He's 27 years old, 28 years old, and we deal with these athletes, about 150 football players who come through my facility, and he can communicate with them in ways that I can't. Now, they can understand me and they can execute the way that I want them to, but it's different when he says it in their language and their way and taps into something different. And that's why it's so important you have so many different type of coaches on your staff, because the same way McDonald might say something, Dirty might say something, say it in a different way, and a player might connect with it. So it's it doesn't make it better, it just makes it different. And his defense is different, so he's going to have different ways of saying things and lining guys up. No, it's no knock on Pete Carroll at all. Definitely not. But it's refreshing when a 37-year-old coach comes in and is teaching these guys his defense.
There's definitely an aspect to communication, discipline, clean tackling, and just a clean feeling game that if we see that crop up, maybe not so much in the preseason, like it's great when it does, but once you get to the regular season, I am going to count that as a cultural shift or like a coaching difference, because I know Pete Carroll valued those things immensely, but it didn't happen on the field. So there's a certain point when you get to like, look, you've done great things as a head coach, but your last several defenses have just looked sloppy. Like it's looked like there have been communication issues. There have been execution issues. There's been poor tackling. And sometimes it's great, and then other times it's not. If that changes, I have no idea how to point to anything but coaching.
Yeah. You still got Reek Woolen out there. You still got Leonard. You still have Devin Witherspoon. There's some overlap there. So watching these guys, once the real season starts, if we watch them step their game up to a different level, that means that they needed that change in communication. They needed that change in the defense.
Someone said, I saw that too, Bump. I totally missed that.
I'm telling you,
No.
it was not friendly. It wasn't friendly enough. I'm like, you basically mentored this young man for 8 years, and you just shook his hand like he's some other Joe Schmo out there. I understand Harbaugh wants to win at everything that he does, but I would have expected a bit more love there.
I absolutely would have. Conspiracy theory? What if Mike McDonald knows something and Jim doesn't want anyone? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I am very excited for the Untold docuseries that's coming out, though, about the Michigan cheating scandal. I don't think Mike McDonald knows anything.
Hey,
Yay.
You never know.
Let's ask Mike. Let's
Let's
ask him. All right, let's get to headline rewrites.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, Team USA men's basketball won gold thanks to Steph Curry going off against France to finish off their win. Here's what that sounded like.
Durant, back to Curry, dancing on Batum, over the double team. Oh! It's a golden dagger! Night! Curry, unconscious in the fourth.
What's the real headline?
Oh, so this is what being a Warriors fan feels like. You guys just get to watch him all the time.
See, there was a moment where my Lakers weren't very good, all right? And you're forced to watch the NBA Finals. And if I had to pick what side I'm cheering for, of course I'm going with the West. So I've rooted for Steph Curry to some extent. Not like this, though. This was different. I go, he's on my team. He's wearing my jersey. Let's go get this done. My man had 8 3-pointers in the gold medal game. The game before that, he dropped 36 on Serbia. They were down 17 points. If he does not drop 36 on them, it's the biggest upset in Olympic history, in my opinion. Now, this is why I think that the rest of the world is caught up. Steph Curry has allowed these guys, not allowed them, but put it in their brain. You can pull up from the logo. There are guys who are now 6 foot to 6'3" who have a spot in this game because the game is played so much more on the perimeter now. So it's a gift and a curse. Steph Curry's like, yeah, you guys are lining it up. I'm the reason why you're lighting it up. I'm going to get you with my own thing. It was a beautiful thing to watch. I looked at LeBron and Steph Curry celebrate together. It's like you got all these rivals on one team, and they're all coming together. It's a beautiful thing. But in a couple months, they'll be enemies once again.
Earlier in the show, we talked about all the ways that Steph Curry had influenced the NBA and how monumental it is when you're an athlete that's drastically changed your sport. We've seen this from other athletes before, and I don't just mean like the best to ever do it. Like, for instance, someone said Reggie Bush. I think Reggie Bush is one of the best college running backs we've ever seen, but did he forever alter college football? I don't know. Steph Curry altered the NBA and how pro basketball is played.
You see it from rec league to AAU to high school to the NBA. College is crazy. The thing about, and we were going back and forth with a texter, he pointed this out or she pointed this out, is that you had Reggie Bush, but you didn't have the coaches who understood how to use him quite yet. So a guy like Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey, they have the ability, but they also have the coaches who understand, okay, I can use him more than just in between the tackles. So there's a lot that has to happen. But Curry did it all on his own. Someone gave him the green light to shoot the rock, and he says, I got it from here.
The NFL wasn't ready.
What did you guys make of LeBron being named MVP of the Olympic tournament over Steph Curry?
LeBron did
had great
get 2 triple-doubles.
He did.
He led the team in rebounds, assists.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Field goal percentage, scoring.
Steph was the story. Bron had the points.
Yeah.
Or Bron had the numbers.
Steph showed up the last 2 games. Before that, he was averaging 7 points a game. So I think Steph just stepped up in that moment. But if LeBron didn't play the way that he did throughout the Olympics, his team would have been
Curtis,
done.
you disagree?
I mean, his performances in the 2 most important games of the tournament, I mean, that's hard to ignore. I get, like Bump said, he didn't have a great start to the tournament. I think Bill Simmons said something like, oh, man, this tournament is an embarrassment for Steph Curry. Like, he doesn't look anything like the Steph playing for the Warriors, like his FIBA basketball, right for him, but then turns out he's pretty good.
It would almost be like if Super Bowl MVP,
right.
it would almost be like if Super Bowl MVP went to the player who was just the best throughout the postseason. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that player doesn't show up in the very biggest moment or in the last quarter or the last half of a Super Bowl. That's not how we award Super Bowl MVP. It is Super Bowl MVP. But the equivalent to this would be like I don't even know. What's a player that like helped his team course through the playoffs recently, but maybe wasn't the most prominent player in a Super Bowl? I'm blanking. But
Mike Evans with the Bucks.
Yeah, or like that's a really good one. Travis Kelce was big in the NFC Championship game, and then obviously not quite as prominent before then.
Here's the thing, though. To Curtis's point, if Steph Curry got it, no one's saying anything.
Nothing.
Yeah, it all makes
Good
sense.
point.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Team USA women's basketball won gold, but they were pushed to the absolute brink by France in the gold medal game. What's the real headline?
We were inches away from a week of Caitlin Clark discourse.
And if the U.S. were to lose, I would have been here for that, though, because I like a little bit of drama, especially because I felt like Caitlin should have been on this team. Coach Staley said, look, if we would have picked teams maybe a month later, she would be on the squad. But I'm glad the U.S. got it done. And I'm glad they got pushed, man, because they haven't lost a game since 1992. Curtis, you were born in 92, weren't you?
91.
91. All right, Curtis was just a
My
slow
wife
baby.
was born in 92.
was born in 92.
Yeah.
There you go. It's been a long time. 61 games, 8 straight gold medals. I'm happy to see it. Diana Taurasi now has 6 gold medals, which is crazy to me. But I like that they got pushed. And 3-4 inches away from that game being tied up by the young lady from France who banked the shot in at the end of the game. It was fun to watch, fun to see. U.S. still our game.
I know, I was going to say.
Still our game. Let's go.
We're still here.
Yeah, cool for a host country to have both teams go that far to the final. Unfortunately for France, USA is still the superior country, and so we had to prove that athletically.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, the Seahawks made the Connor Williams signing official and then sent center Nick Harris to the Browns for a 6th-round pick in 2026. What's the real headline?
Let's hope this works out better than the last time the Seahawks traded a center. For the record, I know that B.J. Finney was the last center traded, but I am referring, of course, to the Max Unger trade. In this case, I think Seattle got the better center, this being a signing.
Yeah, Finney don't hit like Max, though.
No.
So, you have to go that way. But this tells me that they tried the experiment. They said, let's get 2 young guys in there, battle it out, and let's see what happens. Nick Harris did not play horribly during the preseason game, but what this tells me is that they see that Oluwatimi has more potential. Just needs a few more years to maybe develop, and he has some flexibility at the center and the guard spot. They might be putting together a great group of offensive linemen, something that we need to see, but I'm happy that they went out and got another veteran. So now you potentially have Connor Williams and you have Laken Tomlinson. I mentioned during 4 Down Territory, I'll talk about it again at like 1:15, but Laken had himself a good game. So I'm excited about the potential of this group. And Nick Harris, good luck where you go to the Browns. Good luck with the Browns, man.
I just hope that this offensive line ends up being better than so many projections, because Pro Football Focus is not the only outlet to have them ranked very low. But I mean, looking at them as like 30th or worse, I get it. Like if I was a national reporter who wasn't watching training camp, I'd be looking at this lineup. I'd be looking at this starting group of offensive linemen going question mark, injured, question mark, solid.
Yeah.
I get it. But I hope that they outperform and exceed expectation.
Come on, let's do it. Because if you do,
game changer.
There's some weapons.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Of all the rookie quarterbacks who impressed in their preseason debuts, one was actually kind of surprising. That's next.
Seattle Sports is your exclusive home for Mariners baseball.
The relay to first is in time for the double play.
Every strikeout.
Strike 3 called and the ball game is over. The Mariners win it 12-1.
Every home run.
Swing and a drive deep to right center. That baby's way gone.
Every Mariners win.
Goodbye, baseball.
Stream every game at seattlesports.com or on the Seattle Sports app. We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
I caught up with my friend Mark Clymer, GM of Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn, and boy, does he have some exciting news to share. Wayscar Ford is overstocked and needs to move 2024 models off the lot. F-150s, Rangers, Mavericks, F-250s, Explorers, Escapes, Expeditions, and Lightning. So when's the best time to buy a new car? How about right now? They're having a factory invoice sale, which means you're going to pay what they pay. All 2024 Fords come with a lifetime powertrain coverage and 5 days or 500-mile, 100% money-back guarantee. So you can shop with total confidence. There's no negotiating, no haggling. They're just overstocked right now, and they need to make room for a lot more vehicles coming in. So if you've been putting it off and you're looking to get a new Ford, for a limited time only, they're having a factory invoice sale. Again, that means you pay what they pay. Take the hassle out of car shopping. You know you're getting a great deal at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn, wayscarford.com.
Summer is here. If you're dealing with a pest problem, get the relief you need and the long-term protection you deserve with Issaquah Pest Control. Look, rodents and bugs can ruin your insulation or the structure of your home or business. Before it becomes a more costly issue, call Issaquah Pest Control, the fast, kind, and professional pest control service. And if you're in the pest control business or have an interest, they're hiring, so join the team. Issaquah Pest Control, serving the entire Puget Sound. IssaquahPest.com.
You're free now. Free to fill your feed with impossibly chunky chunkers who chunk harder than you ever thought possible.
Cats, corgis, babies, baby penguins, baby pandas, chunky baby pandas.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things. Free to open a world of remote work and a portal into Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service in select locations only.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Having quality care matters to everybody. So, let's talk about it. Optum Care Washington is healthier primary and specialty care. Your doctor can connect you to the care you need with top clinicians in more than 55 specialties, including podiatry, orthopedics, sports medicine, and spine specialists. And if you ever need ENT, breast, or colorectal surgery, you can count on board-certified surgeons. For top local doctors focused on you, connect with Optum at yourhealthwa.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Touchdown, Seahawks! Around the right side goes George Hawaii.
The home of the Seahawks.
This is Matt Coker from West Coast Men's Health. I'm proud to let you know that nationwide, our clinics have a 4.7 out of 5-star rating on Google. This tells you that our patients are really seeing results. Here's what some of them are saying. The results are close to phenomenal. On top of that, the staff and the scheduling are top-notch, and my technician is a consummate professional. Another patient said, I called numerous clinics, and West Coast was by far the best. The other places wouldn't give me any information over the phone, but West Coast answered all of my questions. My wife and I were skeptical, but we've already noticed the difference. This was a game changer for us. West Coast Men's Health has helped thousands of men reverse their ED using acoustic wave therapy. No pills or shots necessary. Give us a call today so we can help you too.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Seattle knows how to hustle.
There it goes! 40, 30!
Every day, we prepare, we grind, and we go to work.
Still on the move. He could go!
Because we live for these moments.
Touchdown! Seahawks!
This city lives for Sunday. Get your tickets for Seahawks game days at Lumen Field and experience what this city lives for. Visit Seahawks.com today.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Time Time for a look around the NFL. Earlier this afternoon, we told you Adam Schefter reported that Hassan Reddick, edge rusher for the Jets, requested a trade. This is after he was traded to the organization back in April. He hasn't played a snap for the team yet. In fact, he's been holding out from camp and has accrued over $1 million in fines. Well, the Jets responded. Jets GM Joe Douglas said the following: "We have informed Hassan that we will not trade him, that he is expected to be here with his teammates, and that he will continue to be fined per the CBA if he does not report. Since the trade discussions back in March, we have been clear, direct, and consistent with our position. Our focus will remain on the guys we have here as we prepare for the regular season." Do you know how funny it would have been to have the statement be, "We have informed Hassan we will not trade him," end of statement?
That's it. Show up. Do your job. We're paying you, or potentially going to pay you to do a job. Right now, you are losing money,
Come
Hassan.
on, man.
Like, come on, man. This is an error on your agent's part and your part. You guys didn't fully understand the situation. You didn't look at the market. I don't know what happened, but something was missing from this whole thing. And I like this. This is like when the homie,
I do too.
when y'all go to a party, he's trying to leave already. Like, look, wait, chill. We just got here. We just got here. I know the playlist ain't cracking right now, but it's going to get better. Trust me. All right, have a couple drinks, talk to some people. It's gonna be fine.
I love the role of Joe Douglas. Chill, Hassan. What are you doing? What are you doing?
We got Aaron.
You know how long it took you to get here? You just parked. You just paid for parking. You paid for parking.
Exactly, downtown
That's 10
parking.
hours. That's overnight parking.
Come on, man.
You're gonna leave in an hour? Man, come on.
These
Wait
guys are
and see.
contenders right now.
You don't want to see if we win the East? You never know. I love this.
man.
I actually love this statement. And
I
I'm
do.
normally very pro player and like get
No,
your
I'm with
money
this, too.
and team hold out if you need to
Yeah.
hold out. But like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with this.
I'm with it. Next up, the Bills have made the signing of the offseason. Curtis
Oh, snaps.
bringing in Seattle Sea Dragons legend.
Benvenucci.
You slipped this story in there.
He's back,
in NFL
baby.
headlines I saw.
I think he's going to be pushing Josh Allen for that starting job.
I don't know about that one. I'm already moving on to the next story.
Hometown
Whoa,
hero.
whoa.
Okay.
I think we need breaking news sounders. I think,
Do you have
yeah.
breaking news?
No,
Actually,
we do
Matt, if
not.
you want to go ahead and hit me with one. Doot, 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 doot. That's a breaking news sounder.
There
Let's
we
go ahead
go.
and flip that. Let's see. Let me go to good news before I get to bummer news. Of all the rookie quarterbacks to debut, some looked absolutely phenomenal. We're going to talk about Jaden Daniels and Caleb in just 1 second. But Bo Nix led the Broncos to 4 scoring drives in his preseason debut, despite being listed 3rd on Denver's depth chart. Take a listen to one of those, this being a throw to Marvin Mims.
Nix throws, touchdown. Touchdown grab for Denver. Marvin Mims Jr. on the touchdown reception.
Bo Nix, I thought would be drafted in the 2nd round. Instead, there's obviously a rush for quarterbacks. We all know what happened. Impresses the most.
3rd behind Zach Wilson and Jarrett Stidham.
Come on now.
Come on now. We knew what was going down. I think Sean Payton has to be excited about this. I actually watched about half of this game, and Bo Nix looked smooth. He reset his feet, got outside the pocket, took care of the football. He's got 60 starts in college. This is an experienced young man and a good young man, too. I met him a couple times. I'm happy for him. We knew this was going to go down. Bo Nix will be the starter week 1. You can play him half the game or maybe a quarter in week 2 of the preseason, then sit him down and get ready for action.
Let's get to another rookie quarterback, that being Jaden Daniels. He was taken at number 2 overall for the Washington Commanders. This was his very first preseason throw.
Spread it out on 3rd down. Daniels pulls the trigger, looking for the deep ball down the sideline. And it's hauled in. De'Ami Brown. Great snag for the first down.
A 42-yard completion. He played only 11 snaps, but still looked absolutely amazing. He had a rushing touchdown. I was so encouraged by Jaden Daniels. I didn't watch live. I went back and looked at highlights. Again, it's only 11 snaps. I think Commanders fans should be very excited.
Yep, I watched all 11 snaps on the all 22, and he checked into that throw. He saw man coverage and said, you know what, I'm going to take a shot. And the DB had the wide out covered. So what do? You drop a dime right over the shoulder towards the sideline. That was a big-time throw. He showed you what he did at LSU. I can toss that thing. I can run that thing. Got a touchdown as well. I'm getting more and more excited about this rookie quarterback class.
Caleb Williams also impressed. He played 17 snaps. He was 4 for 7, 95 yards passing, plus 13 yards on a scramble. You have talked about, I think the Bears, people are hyping them up a little too much. They have a lot of really exciting young talent, but they haven't proven anything, and they're in a tough division. Has anything Caleb has done changed your mind, including, I'll throw in, the first episode of Hard Knocks?
Listen, I still don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
Okay.
But you look at Caleb Williams and the way he performed, the ball just jumps out of his hand differently, man. It is, if I'm a Chicago Bears fan, I am really excited about the future of this team. He's going to have ups and downs like all these other quarterbacks. But we're 3 for 3 right now. We went Bo, Jaden, and Caleb. All 3 of them dudes balled out.
Next up, Jonathan Taylor became one of the first players to wear a Guardian cap during a game. You guys have seen those. It's the helmets that look like they're padded. Like they look like you're wearing like a giant. You look like Toad from Mario Bros, basically.
Facts.
Would you ever wear one of these in a game?
Negative. I already got a
Not
big
even
head.
with the little
I got a
cap?
big head, so my helmet sits on my head differently. Could you imagine having that big old Guardian cap on? But here's the messed up part. There were 5 other dudes on this team who wore that. But they're just focusing on Jonathan, man. He's trying to be safe out there, and you guys are trying to make fun of him. But yes, I would definitely talk a little crap if I see anybody out there wearing that Guardian cap. But it's safe. Safety first. But I told you the numbers. It was only like 9 to 10% difference when it comes to impact. So it does help. But guys are still going to get knocked out.
You absolutely never want to see a player injured in a preseason game. Unfortunately for Hollywood Brown, now with the Chiefs, he was injured with a dislocated clavicle. However, Andy Reid is not ruling out his availability for week 1.
No, it's just dislocated. It ain't broken.
It's no big
Pop
deal.
it right back in.
Yeah, that's
Pop
fine.
it in. Bam.
Shake it off. Walk it off.
I broke my clavicle. That's
Did you?
worse. Yeah.
What was the most painful injury you ever suffered, including out of football?
It was my clavicle because you can't do anything. You can't rotate. You can't raise your arm. Like you are stiff for 6 weeks.
Oh, God. I mean, the Chiefs really could use someone to just go off outside of Travis Kelce. They have a lot of candidates, but none of them are proven. Obviously, Xavier Worthy, incredible speed, but a rookie who hasn't proven it. Many wide receivers taken before him in the first round. You've got Hollywood Brown, who has kind of proven it, but, I mean, he's with you for a reason and not another team. And then you've got guys that are there and coming back. Like, it's a very interesting group. Sky Moore, people are really high on him. Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you are a 7, Pat Mahomes will make you an 8. If you're an 8, he'll make you a 9.
Yeah.
He's the guy that really matters in all this. Just catch the ball, get to where you're supposed to be, and you should have a decent year.
Remember that really problematic show where they gave cosmetic surgery to people called The Swan?
No.
Oh, they also did Extreme Makeover.
Yeah.
Just Extreme Makeover.
Like,
In fact,
incredibly problematic.
there was a person who worked in this building years ago
Stop.
that appeared on Extreme Makeover.
Really?
Like them?
The person,
themselves?
yeah, he did. Yes.
Not like a home improvement makeover.
Didn't work on 710, but worked on one of the other 2
I'm
stations.
going to ask you about that during the break.
Yeah.
Next up, this one.
In fact, you may want to go to commercial now.
Sorry, Matt. While he's currently out of the NFL, Bill Belichick spoke to Pat McAfee today about his involvement with UW's football program.
Well, it's nice to, just get back and watch some action going on the field, being around Steve, being around Jed. They do a great job here at this program, and, it's just fun to watch what's going on and sit in on some meetings and watch players work. But good spot out here, good environment, practicing right on the lake. Temperature is perfect. This is great training camp weather, 70 to 80. The weather's nice. Facilities are good, and, the players are working hard.
Belichick's son, a defensive coordinator there under Jed Fish. Bill sounds happy when he talks to Pat McAfee. What do you make, though, of him as just kind of a helpful voice for Washington football?
He said, I'm going to help my boy.
Yeah.
That's my son over there.
Yes.
I'm going to make sure he's prepared
Steve,
and ready to go. UW has Bill Belichick floating around and Pete Carroll floating around. They're not going to have the year that they had last year, obviously. It's going to be rough for a couple years, I think. But the foundation should be set. Also, Pat McAfee, what is it about him that gets these guys to open up like that? He has a knack for that. It's a gift. Good for him, because Aaron Rodgers opens up. Bill Belichick opens up. He's got something going.
These two are not popular hosts all the time, Joe Rogan and Pat McAfee. What I'll give them is that both of them are genuinely interested in the subjects in which they're interviewing. So even if you disagree with both, or if you think they're problematic, or if you don't like them, or whatever it is, I find that the best interviewers are just genuinely interested in the person they're talking to.
Yeah.
And I will give Pat McAfee that when he talks to people, even though people make fun of him going like, what? That's crazy. Oh my God. Same thing with Joe Rogan. People can make fun of him. I think they're genuinely interested in who they're talking to, and they're listening, like active listening. And I think if you're being interviewed by someone like that, you notice it.
Yeah, it's it doesn't feel like you're being interviewed. You're having a conversation about something that it is you do. And I think that's when you get the best and the most out of people.
I mean, I think also like neither are combative or push back a ton.
No.
So that helps.
That
It's
helps.
not like hardcore journalism happening
It's
here.
not like that lady at the convention with Trump going in on him.
She wanted to let him
Hey,
know.
she's like, listen,
She was like,
we heard what you said.
I didn't want you
We
here.
heard what you said.
God. You're listening to Bump It Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. We are going Mariners for a while here. Jason Churchill is joining us at 1. Excited for that conversation. Before we get to it, what's working and isn't working for the Mariners right now? That's next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Who had the best weekend in the Mariner uniform, Brock? And you could choose your favorite starting pitcher.
Logan was the best.
Think so?
He's got a .87 whip. He's number 1 in baseball.
But
He's thrown 100
had a couple of iffy starts.
54 innings, number 3 in baseball. He's got a 3.1 WAR on your
This question is
team.
not about who's been the better pitcher this year.
For the fifth time, he's gone 7+ shutout innings
this weekend.
Yeah, it was Logan.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Summertime is Pacific Power Batteries time. Okay, maybe that's a stretch. But we do sell more batteries in the spring and summer because you folks are all out there doing stuff. Golf carting and boating and buzzing around on stuff that needs batteries. When's a good time? How about tomorrow? We're open 7 days a week to test any battery and let you know the honest answer. Summertime and the cranking is easy. Happy trails from Pacific Power Batteries.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
build your deck with PAR. Get everyday low prices on Trex and TimberTech composite decking, and get $100 off TimberTech, Trex, and AZEK railing and accessories with qualifying purchase. Visit par.com for details, but hurry, offer ends soon. What are you building?
High five. Up top. Heck yeah.
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet,
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security,
Security win.
and 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep, Dave's feeling it. But it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings. Powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
If your home has air conditioning, congratulations, because it looks like this summer is going to be a scorcher. But to make sure your AC system is working at its best, Deere Services is offering an inspection and tune-up with a no breakdown guarantee and no service fee for just $49, a $129 value. Assure yourself of a comfortable, cool summer. Visit DEARservices.net, make an appointment, and we'll be there within 3 hours or give you a $100 credit. Deere Services, there when you need us most.
You know, there's still time to get your roof done this summer with Riverside Roofing's quick quote at riversideroofingllc.com. Enter the details of your project and you're only 60 seconds away from starting on a new roof. At Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
We are Seattle Sports.
Deep to right center. That baby's way gone. Big cow.
The home of the Mariners.
Two things you're looking at when you're shopping for a new car or SUV: choice and exceptional deals. Visit our friends at Mazda of Everett and you'll be satisfied with both. Which Mazda moves you? Find out at Mazda of Everett. Choose from over 600 new Mazdas in stock, and right now they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? They also treat you like family and want you to drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
Seattle is home to Swedish CyberKnife, a non-invasive and highly precise treatment for prostate cancer. Compared with other radiation treatments, CyberKnife treatment is much shorter, typically 5 treatments. The vast majority of patients experience minimal side effects and can continue normal activities during treatment. Swedish CyberKnife patients enjoy excellent cancer control rates and minimal disruption to normal activities. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy
weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We're going to talk about what is and isn't working for the Mariners right now. Right before we do, this has nothing to do with the Mariners, but just some interesting little notes about some of the pitching matchups you're going to have over the course of this road trip. You're going to face Detroit, Pittsburgh, and then the Dodgers on the road. I think all 3 on the road. You've got Tarek Skubal, who's going to open the series for Detroit tomorrow, unfortunately. You got Paul Skeens, who's going to be there on Friday starting for Pittsburgh, and former Mariner Marco Gonzalez on Sunday. Very interesting matchup with Detroit and Pittsburgh here.
As DMX once said, bring it, what? We right here.
Exactly.
He said it verbatim.
Yeah, I second that, frankly. R.I.P. Moving on, let's talk about what's working and what's not for the Mariners. I'm going to start with what is working, and I know that he has since cooled and been a little more hot and cool, but Jorge Polanco, he was, a triple short of the cycle in this one. It's his second 3-hit game of the season, and both have been since July 27th. I think earlier in the show bump, we talked about whether or not it's like a Jekyll and Hyde team. Is this hot and cold, or is this a team genuinely improving? I think they're genuinely improving, and I think Jorge Polanco is one of the players who is genuinely improving.
Just refrain myself from referencing another song.
No, you should.
Okay. Are they Katy Perry? Hot and you're cold, yes and you're no, in you're out, up you're down. Wrong when it's white, black when it's white.
Yeah.
Is that who they are? No. I don't believe that anymore. I think all right, I'm done. All right, don't text me.
I don't think you
I'm
should
done
be
with the references unless Matthew gives me the okay. Am I good, Matt? Matt says okay. All right, so maybe. Here it is though. They have found a groove, right? They're 2 step in the night away. They're in their pocket, and everything feels good. And they've been doing most of this, they did most of this without Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah.
As a team, they're OPS, and just in that Mets series, OPS and 833. That has to be one of the best series in a while that they put together. Maybe look at the Phillies series and numbers might be comparable. They have 6 extra base hits. That's something they struggle with all season long. You're seeing that during this, or you saw that during this series. You got 4 home runs, 2 by Mr. Cal Raleigh. And the things that are always true with this ball club is that the pitching is going to be on point. They found it. And the most important part to me is that they did it at home, because we keep hearing about the ballpark and the batter's eye and things ain't working. We want to see how they looked when they came home. They struggled at times, which you do in baseball. But for the most part, they've been doing their thing. During that series, you got Randy with over 1,000 OPS. You got Polanco over 1,000 OPS. You got Cal 1,300 OPS. You got Bliss, only 4 IVs. We're not going to count him. But you got guys who are producing, and you pointed it out to start the show. It's the top of the order getting it done. Then you sprinkle in the bottom, and good things are going to happen. So I like where they are right now. Good ABs, good approaches, and the pitching's always on point.
One of the things that we talked about when the team acquired Randy Arozarena is whether or not a player who was hot would stay hot. And we thought it would be kind of like a science experiment. Like, I know that even without being traded to another team, you could, as a player, just run into a rut, and that just happens. But we were like, God, every bat is cold. What happens when you drop into the mix someone who is playing out of his mind? Randy Arozarena isn't necessarily playing out of his mind, but he hasn't cooled. He's still been really solid. And so that has, on its face, just on its own, made this team better. But then you talk about some of the pieces that we've really enjoyed watching. I know Victor Robles is someone who you've been tracking in terms of like, hey, what is working? Well, him, right?
Robles, man, he has been, now when they acquired him, I think you and I were like, okay, it's fine. We'll see what happens. And then didn't have the greatest start when it comes to swinging a stick here in Seattle, but it seems like he slowly has been coming out of his shell as a baseball player and as a personality. And I think that this team, obviously you need both of that. You need your guys stepping in the batter's box to do their thing, but you also needed that type of personality, that jolt, because the guys who are on the mound can't have that wild personality. Like, Logan got to be cool, right? Bryce Miller will show you some during interviews and stuff. You got Castillo, who's super calm out there. Wu, who's not going to show you much emotion. And it's almost like you lose a bit of what makes athletes great at times is that big personality. You could perform out of your mind just because you're feeding off the vibe of one of your teammates. So then you combine that with just how he's been playing. It's been great, man, because I didn't know Victor had this type of play in him. I didn't think he had this type of personality in him. Just don't stop. And I think, honestly, Randy kind of helped bring that out too, because now he's got another Latino brother out there, and they can talk their talk. You see when he was mic'd up, and even Polanco, he scores that, hits that bomb, and they're talking in Spanish and stuff and dapping it up. I go, I just love the energy. I don't know what you said, but I love that energy.
But yes. Also, shout out Randy Arozarena for an amazing catch out there and left.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what isn't working in the final 2 minutes here. And I hate to include this name, but we have to right off the top. 5 strikeouts yesterday. I know he is not at 100% and probably nowhere close to it. Julio. Man, I don't know what to think about this. What do you think?
I know what to think about it. I think he's coming back from a long while sitting down and is asked to do one of the hardest things, not the hardest thing to do in sports, which is to hit a baseball.
Yeah.
And he feels like he's missing out. He's got FOMO right now. He goes, Polanco, man, I want to celebrate. Robles, I want to get into the mix. He sees his guys out there holding it down in the outfield, throwing up the no-fly zone, and he just wants to be a part of it naturally. So he might press a little bit. I don't know how many pitches he's seen during batting practice and all that stuff, but there's nothing like the real thing. So I give him a pass for a few games and say let him figure it out. And then after that, then we start critiquing a bit more. I know people, it's crazy. It's crazy how some people just want us to go for his head right now. I go, look, 5 Ks, but it was one performance, and he's been out for a while. Yeah. Let the young man figure it out.
I saw a couple people texting in, like maybe they sent him to Tacoma, but he's been activated, so you can't have him on a rehab assignment. So you just got to kind of hope that he improves and maybe continues to take a DH. I will say this. Here I am talking about Julio's 5 strikeouts and how much we hated that. One of those at-bats was almost a home run or what could have been a double and fell just foul.
Yep.
So I will say he came close to getting one, and the crowd was very excited. At least on the TV broadcast. I don't know if you were there, it looked like it was falling much sooner, but at least on the TV broadcast, it looked like
you can't do that. Close. People don't like when you.
I know.
When you do that.
I know.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
You got to be Julio's not good enough.
It back.
You got to come in go 5 for 5
I know.
with 2 ribbies.
Well, let's figure out what we can watch for from Julio. Jason Churchill joining us next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Sam Howell, gamer. That's what we were told. And it's so far from what I can tell, it's absolutely true. The player we saw on the field no way resembled the guy in practice. He had command. There was more accuracy, not perfect, but more accuracy. His mobility showed up.
You never have a perfect performance. Even yours truly, who came back to open the CenturyLink Field, Salk, who thought, even then, but I thought Sam was super, super solid.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD. HD2.
Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. With rising interest rates and banks and credit unions continuing to tighten, the demand for our private portfolio loans has never been stronger. Therefore, for a limited time only, Legacy's Opportunity Fund is paying 7% interest on short-term cash with just a 90-day commitment and a 30-day notice to withdraw. It's the perfect place to park your short-term cash. And at 7%, I would challenge you to find a better short-term opportunity in the marketplace today. Don't let your short-term cash sit in a savings or money market account when you can get 7% with Legacy's Opportunity Fund and join the over 800 local investors with over $200 million invested.
Act now to receive Legacy's Opportunity Fund one-time offer of 7% on short-term cash. Visit Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. That's legacyg.com. Legacy Family of Funds investments are available to accredited investors only. 7% APR is current rate for the Legacy Group Capital Opportunity Fund. Terms and conditions at legacyg.com.
Can't fix everything for everybody, but you can be there and listen and try to help with what you can. You're there to support them, and that's the best that you can do.
It's this commitment, this philosophy that represents the LJ way.
This is my life. This is my family's life. The people that work here, they're my family. When something's not right with them, it's not right with us. My wife and 3 kids in the house, there's always something wrong with somebody at all times. And if there isn't, then something's wrong. When you have 388 employees, there's never a day that everything is good everywhere. You have to be okay with that. You have to look at that as opportunities to gain a better relationship with people and help them through what they're going through.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm here with my friend Mark Clymer from Wayscar Ford, Isuzu in Auburn. Mark, is now the best time to buy a new car?
Well, it absolutely is right now because we have our factory invoice sale going on right now, which means you're going to pay what we pay. And this is on all our 24 model vehicles, basically, everything except for Raptors. So we're talking F-150s, Rangers, Mavericks, F-250s, Explorers, Escapes, Expeditions, you name it. These are brand new 2024 models. They also come with our lifetime powertrain coverage and 5 days or 500-mile, 100% money-back guarantee, so you can shop with total confidence. There's no negotiating, nothing. You pay what we pay. We're overstocked right now, and we need to make room. We have a lot more vehicles coming in. So, yeah, you're right. If you've been putting it off and you're looking to get a new Ford, for a limited time, we're having our factory invoice sale. You pay what we pay.
Take the hassle out of car shopping. You know you're getting a great deal at Wayscar Ford, Isuzu in Auburn. Wayscarford.com.
Have you been searching for a local, trustworthy group of professionals to assist with your mortgage? Hey, this is Brock Heward, and you can count on Tila Mortgage. They've been the go-to mortgage experts in Washington for over 25 years. If you are 62 or older and want to learn more about reverse mortgages, well, Tila can help you decide if it's the right choice for you. If monthly payments are impacting your credit score and just killing your cash flow, Tila can assist you in consolidating your debt with proven programs like a refinance loan or a home equity line of credit, a HELOC, enabling you to maintain your low fixed rate first mortgage. Additionally, if you're purchasing a new home, well, Tila can guide you through the ins and outs of a home loan as well. With hundreds of 5-star reviews, Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a trusted source for honest and ethical mortgage advice. Call Tila today at 206-766-8888 or
TILA Mortgage.com.
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Deep to right center. That baby's way gone. Big Cal. Another 2-home run performance.
You're listening to 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
New York Jets edge rusher Hassan Reddick has demanded a trade from his team just months after being acquired by the Jets for a conditional third-round pick. But Jets GM Joe Douglas says that's not happening. Quote, "We have informed Hassan we will not trade him," Douglas said in a statement released an hour ago, that he is expected to be here with his teammates and that he will continue to be fined per the CBA if he does not report.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Talking Mariners with Jason Churchill. He joins us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline now. Hey, Jason, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good. This is Churchill weather. Look outside right now. Check out. This is Churchill weather. So if you ever hear that term, you'll know, all right, this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. Not 95 degrees, not 45 degrees and rainy this today right now.
So just perfect weather is Churchill weather.
What is it out there? We're inside right now, Church.
We have no windows.
What is it? What's going on outside?
You didn't drive into work today?
I mean, it's different in the morning, man. Those clouds be shifting.
It was 8 a.m., 8:30,
Yeah.
9.
So I made up this ridiculous temperature range where if it's between 67 and 72 and a half degrees, it's Churchill weather.
Okay.
So we're at about 68 degrees right now.
Nice.
Like it.
Nice.
Call that football weather too, Church.
Hey.
There you go. Exactly.
I'm going to start with obviously what was a great Sunday night baseball game for the Mariners. Cal Raleigh going off for 2 home runs. That's his 10th career multi-home run game, 3rd this season. Why does he keep getting excluded from top 10 catcher lists? I don't understand.
That really depends on who's making the list. Sometimes it's to create that conversation. Sometimes it is that clickbait. Sometimes, to be honest with you, some folks just don't know what they're talking about. I mean, it's really easy to look around and say, all right, who's the best 10, and to not put Cal Raleigh, who's probably a top 3 or 4 catcher in Major League Baseball, in your entire top 10 is absolutely crazy. And it's defensive, offensive. I think a lot of folks are still using traditional statistics, and they might see Cal Raleigh's very low batting average and not understand that he does make up for some of that by getting on base, and he makes up for a lot of that by hitting a lot of home runs. And there might not be a better defensive catcher in Major League Baseball, not an everyday guy anyway.
Hey, Church, how much does personality matter to a team? Because we're seeing Robles kind of come out of his shell. You got Randy over there. You got the lumberjack and JT. It seems like it seems and feel like the perfect mix of personality. Now, you got to go out there and ball. But what does that do to a team?
Yeah, I think that's the key, Michael. Like, if that player's playing well and is a part of the team's success, it's really easy for that player to be that way. You know that. You've been around that. You've seen that. This isn't different in baseball than it is in basketball or football or anything else. When that player's playing well and is a part of things, and he has that kind of personality, the people around him can relax. I don't think that's any different than any walk of life, really. Go into any work, environment. People that are a big part of things and that do things right and are talented and are part of the solution, and they have that kind of personality that keeps things light, keeps things fun. We can't really quantify that in sports at this point. I really wish we could. You kind of have to ask the players individually what kind of impact that has, but it's certainly not zero. It's certainly not a big nothing. That's a big deal. I think the Mariners are really big on, as big as any team in baseball, on making sure they don't bring in someone that could disrupt what's going on in that clubhouse, maybe to the point where a player like Jazz Chisholm, who has a little bit of a reputation of being a me-first guy, maybe that's all his time in Miami where they just didn't win a whole lot, but they stayed away from him. And I think that's part of the reason why. I think that's part of the equation with some of these players out there. Seattle and Jerry DiPoto and Dustin Hollander, Scott Service, they tend to ask their players. You heard the story they asked Luke Raley about Randy Rosarina. You know, they asked players that were familiar with Victor Robles. You know, they asked that question of players inside and outside the organization to make sure that they fit from a personality standpoint. It's certainly not zero. It's certainly a positive when those people come in to the organization, whatever their role is, whether it's a front office person or someone on the field. They not only have to fit, but if they bring something else to the table, that kind of personality that keeps things fun, it keeps people relaxed and smiling, I mean, that's a big positive.
Jason, do you see a genuine improvement from this offense post-trade deadline?
I think a little bit. Yeah, I believe in this, and I've been talking about on my show about this. I just call it the unlock theory, and maybe I've talked to you guys about it too. I believe that a really bad offensive lineup, a really bad set of 9 hitters gets better when you add one player to it, beyond the fact that you're just replacing one of your bad hitters with a good one. I think you add Randy Rosarina to this lineup, and it makes Luke Raley better, and it makes Cal Raleigh better, just a little bit. It's not that they're going to turn into MVP candidates, but it gives the team something else to work with as they're kind of throwing their 9 hitters at the other team's pitching staff. And you add somebody like Justin Turner to the mix as well, who has good at-bats and not hitting for a lot of power these days, but he's going to work counts, come up with some hits, put the ball in play quite a bit. And obviously Victor Robles is kind of an early, deadline present. Seattle picked up in early June, and he's played well too. I think adding a couple of hitters like that makes such a big deal. And when this team gets Julio back going, and then they eventually get J.P. Crawford back, and I know those two guys. And one thing I keep hearing, guys, is it's not really that huge of a loss to not have Julio and to not have JP, because they weren't having good years anyway. It's a huge loss because of the unlock theory, because they don't get to take advantage of it. And Julio's back now, but they're not there to take advantage of the fact that Randy Rosarina and Justin Turner and Victor Robles are in this lineup now. And those guys, when you look at who's replacing JP Crawford and who has replaced Julio until he came off the IL on Sunday, it moves everybody up, right? It weakens your depth and it weakens your opportunity. It's enormous. I think we've seen some guys just kind of have good weeks. It's been 9 or 10 games. But I think we're going to see over the long haul, over the next, 6 weeks or so, how a Randy Rosarina impacts the lineup as they get whole again with Julio back and JP. But, yeah, I do. I think they've performed a little bit better. Luke Raley's on a tear right now. Rosarina's obviously performed well. It's funny because the last 10 days or so, Victor Robles hasn't done much. But his impact, because he's a threat a little bit, and he's batting near the top of the lineup. He's still getting on base a little bit. But Cal Raleigh's doing his thing. Jorge Polanco's had his moments. In that way, when you get guys that are struggling, it's not all 9. You can find someone in your 13, 14-man, little circle there, your options to put into that lineup, depending on who's up from Tacoma to fill in. You can find guys that are swinging the bat a little better, that match up a little better against that particular hitter. I just, there was a lot of that. They're struggling so bad, you can't fix it, so why bother? It's just a waste of prospects to trade. And I've always believed the opposite. I think anytime you get a chance to add someone like Randy Rosarina, you absolutely do it.
Yeah, Church, I'm looking at the lineup from yesterday, and I'm imagining a healthy in Clicking Rodriguez and JP, and it just on paper it just even looks and feels better, right? But yesterday we saw Julio. He went 0 for 5, and we're getting a mix of emotions. Some people are going to be patient with Julio. Some people are saying 0 for 5, unacceptable. And I'm on the side of hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports. Like, you're not going to come back and just be everything's firing at the same time. How patient would you be with Julio?
Yeah, I think it's Julio Rodriguez. You got to be as patient as it takes. And really, there's no limit here. I mean, you get him 15, 20 plate appearances, and then he should be good to go, if not before then. I know there's some hesitation, with that injury, but when you're talking about working your swing back into it after being out a couple of weeks like that, usually guys do. I mean, Jorge Polanco went down and played 3 or 4 games in the minors, a couple in Tacoma, I think one at Everett, to get his swing back. But I think getting Julio back, it doesn't really matter to me if he takes those swings in the big leagues, or in the minors. I take the chance that Julio is going to find it, in the first 10 at bats versus, putting Mitch Haniger out there in a bad matchup. Luis Severino, not really a great matchup, for Mitch Haniger. So I'll take that chance, and it gets Julio back sooner. The only difference is he's getting those at bats at the big league level and taking away something from a Mitch Haniger or somebody like that in the DH role instead of going down to Tacoma. So the sooner you get Julio back rolling, the better. And I think that does happen a little bit quicker at the big league level because there is a pretty significant difference between the pitching players are going to see in AAA down to the Pacific Coast League versus what they're going to see at the big league level. So I think you just sit back and kind of hope Julio can find, what he had going before he got hurt. But in terms of timing, and we're just going to have to wait on that injury, but in terms of timing, it's 3 games, it's 4 games. Every hitter's a little bit different. But, it's Julio Rodriguez. You're going to be as patient as necessary, right?
Very related question, Jason. I'm surprised how many people I see asking, what if Julio just isn't as good as we thought? To which I'd say, if you thought he was the very best player in baseball, you're probably right. Like, I don't know that he's proven that, but he has proven a lot over his first 2 seasons, and I feel like we've got some recency bias because he's had such a down year. Do you?
Yeah, I think we've seen this with players, too. You look around the league, this has been a really strange year for really good, proven players, all-star level players. Before he got hurt, Ronald Acuna Jr. was not having a good year. Bo Bichette was having a terrible year. There's a lot of players that are really good with track records, and I can't explain it, but that's what's happening. And I know a lot of times players they'll tinker with their swing, and I know Julio tinkered with his mechanics too. And sometimes that can be the culprit. I'm not saying that's the case here with Julio, but sometimes it takes longer to figure out exactly where you're supposed to be. And then sometimes those hitters get caught in between. Well, I'll just go back to what I was doing. You heard Mitch Haniger tell that. So I just went back to what I was doing before because what I was doing early in spring, I had some early success, but then that went away. So I'm back to, last year's Mitch Haniger. Well, maybe Bo Bichette needs to do the same. Maybe Julio needs to do the same, or maybe there's some sort of happy medium there. But with baseball, it takes time, and we kind of live in a football world where, you change coaches and you want results today. You change quarterbacks, you're going to get results today. You draft a player, you're going to get results really, really early. And when you make adjustments during the season, you want to show up the very next Sunday. That doesn't happen in baseball. It takes weeks to months, sometimes till the next year for things like that to kind of take hold. So it's tough, and it's frustrating to watch somebody as talented as Julio not perform as well. But I think the encouraging thing is he's still hitting for average. We're not seeing, egregious levels of strikeouts. He did go backwards there a little bit. But as long as he's able to make contact and we're still seeing the hard hit rates and things like that, the physical skill, the physical talent is still there. It's just a matter of him finding his mechanics. We were talking before the season started, at least I was, about Julio kind of having the year Bobby Witt's having right now. That was possible after the first 2 seasons in Major League Baseball. So 23 years old. Yeah, I'm riding this out until he's 30 probably before I say, hey, maybe Julio's just not as good as we thought he was. So we got a little while.
Church, during our show, I mentioned that there feels like there's a maturation process that's going on with this team. I think obviously that helps when you add some bats and you take some pressure off of some guys like you mentioned. How would you describe this team today when you compare it to the team before the trade deadline?
I think a little bit more complete is probably the way that I would phrase that. There's still probably a hitter or 2 away. They'll have to do that in the offseason. It's going to be an absolutely hugely important offseason for this team, but they're more complete. You have reliable players that have track records of consistent performance at 2 new positions. Now, you're not going to get all-star level performance out of Justin Turner, but you might get that out of Randy Arozarena, and Turner's going to do his thing. We know what to expect from Turner. First base is in better hands now. And because you added a Arozarena, because Victor Robles is kind of a third player you've added this summer, now you get to use Luke Raley at first base a little bit. So you just have better options. It's a more complete team. I was talking about potential September call-ups on my show today. And one of the things that struck me is the guys that are options are more fitting options to use off the bench. In the past, we've been thinking more about, can this guy start a game? Can he, actually split the position, with somebody that's already on the roster? And now we're talking about guys like Rylan Thomas or Cade Marlowe coming back and serving in like a defense or a pinch hitting role. And they have better options there too. I think they have better options looking at the pitchers they're going to add in September as well. And I think that tells the story. You're not reaching and looking for as much as you were last August thinking about September call-ups, and that's just because they went out and did some things. And the Randy Arozarena get is just so enormous. I mean, you look at that offseason, they were going to need to go out and find 3 impact everyday hitters. Now, it'd have been nice if they'd have found 2 of those at the deadline and to make the winter nice and easy and relaxed. But you took 33% of the weight off of your offseason, and the impact that's having on your team right now is pretty large. So, you know, if you think of 100% as a fully complete, really good, well-rounded team, they probably went from 60% to 70%, if not a little higher at the trade deadline with the moves they made.
Jason, you said that they're probably still a couple bats away from being good, and they can't solve that now. It's going to have to be something they address in the offseason, and you're obviously right. Then you said that that's what makes this offseason maybe the most important they've had in a long while. I don't disagree with you at all, but once you said that, I found myself writing down why, like what makes this offseason different. When you look at it, I know we're kind of jumping right past the playoffs and looking at the offseason, but what for you makes this upcoming offseason the most important?
We're going to start running out of time when it comes to the huge advantage that Cal Raleigh is at the salary they're paying him. Same with George Kirby, same with Bryce Miller, same with Brian Wu, same with Logan Gilbert. And Gilbert and Raleigh at the top of that list with Kirby right there with Cal. You're getting into arbitration years where you're starting to pay these guys a lot more. And because nobody in the world believes this ownership's just going to keep raising payroll to meet the arbitration demands or the contract extension demands of every young player that they bring up, somebody might have to go. And you have to reshuffle your roster. And we may even see something like that, you know, this winter. But you're going to start running out of time. You're going to have to pay these guys and pay these guys big. So take advantage of that now. It's almost like the rookie quarterback. Russell Wilson early in his career was such a huge advantage because he was making $4 an hour. Well, when they get closer to free agency and it's time to extend them, you know, now all of a sudden you're squeezed. And while there's no salary cap in baseball, there is a salary cap that ownerships put on their own spending. So it's a real thing. It's a very similar thing. So taking advantage of these players, and it's not just the pitching, but obviously, you know, those 4 starters, you know, 2 through, if you consider Castillo the 1, 2 through 5 are all young, controllable starters that aren't making a lot of money. But Gilbert's already into arbitration. Kirby's headed there. Miller's got another year or so. But, you know, you're getting closer to that, and you're going to have to make decisions on extensions or trades because you're not just going to let them walk through free agency, not in this organization. So this offseason's big. Setting this team, this roster up for – if we see this season start next season, 2025, if we see that roster and it's not the best roster Jerry DiPoto's ever had by far, mistakes were made this winter. I mean, it should be so – you should look at it and just go, this is so obvious. This is the best team since at least 2003. If that's not the case, major mistakes were made over the winter.
He is Jason Churchill. He mentioned talking about September call-ups. That's on the latest episode of Baseball Things. Go listen to it right now. Thanks so much, Jason.
Thanks, Church.
Anytime. Thanks.
See ya. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory. Going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what 2 pass catchers are giving the Seahawks the most value after watching the film from Saturday?
Jake Bobo and Laviska Shenault Jr., they are doing their thing. And the reason why I'm looking at these guys is because they're not just pass catchers. They are special team specialists as well. They both were on punt and cover, punt return. I think I saw them on kickoff cover as well. And we saw Laviska have a 44-yard kickoff return, which is big. I think if he can do another one of those, actually just secure the rock and look explosive, he could be the returner for this team. Jake Bobo obviously has a big following here in Seattle already, but he's going to need to go down there and make some tackles. He had a tackle on kickoff cover, on punt cover last weekend. Those 2 guys are going to make it tough for anyone else to make this ball club. Last year, the Seahawks left camp with 6 receivers. So right now, it'd be Metcalf, Lockett, Jason, Bobo, Shenault, Derek Young. But I'm also leaving out hope for a D. Eskridge and a Eason Winston Jr., who I think both of those guys are going to battle for the punt return position. I think Laviska is more of a kick returner guy. They could carry 7 receivers this year. I know that people are ready to give up on D. Eskridge. I will never do that because I see the value that he brings to a team. He's the jet sweep guy. He could be the punt returner guy, but he has to be good on special teams. If he cannot return the football, have some ball security, there will be no job security for him. And Eason Winston Jr. is a guy who had a big catch during the game as well and is competing for that punt return spot. I'm looking at the receivers that I'm saying, look, you might make it tough on a DB, a running back, or linebacker to make the squad if you can contribute on special teams. So Bobo, Chenault leading the charge. Eskridge, Winston, they're battling.
Second down. What did you love about the little we saw from Ryan Grubb's offense?
I didn't think I was going to see this much. And once the ball is snapped, I don't think you saw a lot, but I saw 2x2, 3x1, 2x2 stack. I saw double tight. I saw off balance. I saw balance. I saw shifts. I saw motions. I saw a motion get set, another motion, then a shift. I saw a lot of pre-snap stuff. Once the ball is snapped, the concepts were pretty basic. We saw gap schemes. We saw trap encounters in zones or whatnot. We saw the speed outs, the quick game. All that was basic, but the pre-snap stuff is the stuff that makes me optimistic or keeps me optimistic about this offense. I've watched enough UW football to know that Grubb's going to dial some things up. Geno Smith even said, I've never seen some of these plays before. So once the ball is snapped, I think it looked a bit vanilla for a lot of people, but pre-snap stuff is what allows me to kind of open up my imagination and say, okay, the possibilities. He's showing everybody all these formations, and he's not done yet. If this is vanilla, goodness gracious, I can't wait to see what it looks like week one when they really get going. But I like the direction of the offense so far, and Sam Howell did a good job running it.
What did you see pre-snap that you hadn't really seen under Waldron?
Just what I mentioned, the movement. The thing with Waldron is that he would do some movement one week and then it would disappear the next week.
That's always
and it's
so
like,
weird to me.
I don't understand why you're not building off of that. I think that Grubb came out and said, look, man, this is going to be our identity. We're going to have a lot of stuff happening before that. So let's just put it in now so our guys get used to running that kind of stuff. So, yeah, once the ball is snapped, I'll let you know week one, week two, what I see that with the Grubb that I didn't see with Waldron.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's looking good.
What's balance? Does that have to do with like alignment, like where
Balance.
you are over
So
a gap?
you got
or
two
like,
pass catches on one side, two on the other side.
Oh, okay.
That's a balance
Make it
formation.
chunk. Okay. Third down. What offensive lineman impressed you the most this weekend?
What did I say? I said Esau. My bad. Esau. My bad.
I thought you
man.
said Esau.
I thought I did too. Esau Winston. My bad. Go Cougs. What were we on? Third down? Offensive lineman. Yes. Lincoln Tomlinson. Goodness, man. He handled, or that side, he was on the left side, handled the pressure well. There's something called a fan call. Fan call is what happens when you're getting overloaded to one side. They're bringing three from that side, and you only have two linemen on the left side, so you just slide the protection, and your center has to come in and help, or your running back takes the inside linebacker who might be blitzing or walking down. They handled the fan. They handled stunts correctly. They pulled him in traps and encounters. He looked good there. He does look like a guy who had been there before, and I think that's what you need. Potentially, you have Connor Williams starting at that center spot. You got a veteran there as well. And then at the right guard spot, you're looking at Christian Haynes and Anthony Bradford kind of battle for that spot as well. The more veterans you have on this line, the better. Because once Abe Lucas comes back, you got a vet there, and Charles Cross is a vet as well. So I like Lakin, man. He looked like he'd been there, and he'd done that, looked composed, handled the fan, the blitz, the stunts. It was fun to watch.
Fourth down. All right, let's talk defense. What stood out to you looking at that side of the ball?
Oh, man, defense, it was just alignment, assignment, execution. Real simple. We saw guys flying to the football. There were, I think, Texter brought in that there are only 2 missed tackles. I think PFF had them with 2 missed tackles. If this was last year, it would have been like 6, 7 of them
Double
things.
digits.
And we didn't see that. We saw Wallace make a big play across the middle, hitting the receiver. Kobe Bryant gets the interception. We saw Byron Murphy getting into the backfield. I saw Tyrese Knight step up in the box. We saw Dotson step up in the box. It just looked fundamentally sound. It looked like guys were where they were supposed to be. And once they got their paws on you, it was a wrap. So I wasn't looking for exotic blitzes coming from depth and all these intricate stunts and all that good stuff. I just wanted, I bet you were.
No, I wasn't.
I just wanted guys to line up, be where you're supposed to be, force to run inside when you have to do it, take care of the backside when they're optioned away from you. Just the little things when it comes to fundamental football, and we saw that. I'm extremely encouraged by it. I cannot wait to see the ones go out there and do it for 75, 80 plays.
It is funny how much of our perception of Baltimore's defense is different from what Baltimore actually did well. Like, what they did was just execute sound defense. Like, we almost make it seem like it was the 11 personnel version, Sean McVay version of defense. And it's like, yeah, it was like really smart and innovative, and like guys had multiple roles, and that was cool. But they also were just really sound tacklers and really on time and disciplined and didn't accrue a ton of penalties. Like, they just played sound defense.
Just be sound.
Yeah.
Be where you're supposed to be, make the players supposed to make, and every now and then come up with a spectacular one.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know coming up at 45 after 866-979-3776.
Seattle Sports is your exclusive home for Mariners baseball.
The relay to first is in time for the double play.
Every strikeout.
Strike three called and the ball game is over. The Mariners win it 12-1.
Every home run.
Swing and a drive deep to right center. That baby's way gone.
Every Mariners win.
Goodbye, baseball.
Stream every game at seattlesports.com or on the Seattle Sports app. We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Motorcycle riders, Bob Stelton here. I love this time of year. The weather's nice. I'm out on the bike as often as possible. And knock on wood, I've never been in an accident. But maybe you have. And if you have, you need to call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. First of all, your case evaluation is completely free. They don't get paid until you get paid. And they should be the first call you make after a motorcycle accident. And I'll tell you why. Because they fight for you, the motorcycle rider, and your family to get you the compensation you deserve. With over 20 years of experience, they're going to handle your case with the respect and dignity you deserve. The insurance company wants to get away with paying out the lowest settlement they can as quickly as they can. With the Law Tigers, you don't have to handle your motorcycle case alone. So why should you hire Law Tigers after an accident? They can help you get your motorcycle and gear repaired or replaced. Law Tigers knows how important your motorcycle is to you, so after you've been in an accident, give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. They will get you the help that you need. Again, that's 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or lawtigers.com. The Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Mateer Law Firm, LLC.
Oh no, your furnace died. Your hot water heater's leaking. Your drains are clogged. Your AC's blowing hot air. Inconveniences? No, they're emergencies. Don't fear. Call Deere Services. Visit deerservices.net. Make an appointment, and we'll be there within 3 hours, or give you $100 credit. And get this, you will never pay a service fee. Bookmark DEARservices.net, because if you're a homeowner, it'll happen to you someday. Deere Services, there when you need us most.
Having quality care matters. So, let's talk about it. Nobody likes not feeling their best, but it's comforting to know top local doctors are nearby when you need one. Optum Care Washington is here with exceptional primary and specialty care, from OBGYN and family medicine to urology and gastroenterology. We also accept most Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, with over 45 Puget Sound locations, Optum offers peace of mind close to school, work, and home. Discover all the ways Optum is here for you at yourhealthwa.com.
Summer is here. If you're dealing with a pest problem, get the relief you need and the long-term protection you deserve with Issaquah Pest Control. Look, rodents and bugs can ruin your insulation or the structure of your home or business. Before it becomes a more costly issue, call Issaquah Pest Control, the fast, kind, and professional pest control service. And if you're in the pest control business or have an interest, they're hiring, so join the team. Issaquah Pest Control, serving the entire Puget Sound. IssaquahPest.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Touchdown Seahawks! And it's Brady Russell, the second-year tight end.
The home of the Seahawks.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
At Shane Company, our engagement rings are the perfect blend of design, function, and beauty. Each one a unique work of art. We meticulously craft our bridal jewelry in our jeweler's workshop to the highest standards, expertly setting each diamond by hand, ensuring the structure is perfectly balanced, and sizing everything for the perfect fit. Shane Company offers a free unmatched lifetime warranty because your engagement ring is an heirloom that was made to last. You'll cherish your ring today, tomorrow, and forever. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
You're free now. Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers who chonk harder than you ever thought possible.
Cats, corgis, babies, baby penguins, baby pandas, chunky baby pandas.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things. Free to open a world of remote work and a portal into Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service in select locations only.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I need to know coming your way in 15. You can get your questions in 866-979-3776. Again, 866-979-3776. Coming your way in 15 minutes. Before we get to it, I loved what Jason Churchill had to say about catcher rankings. So for the past 2 years, we've seen a couple outlets. We've only used two separate ones. Fox Sports was one. I want to say CBS Sports was the other that had the top, or maybe MLB.com, that had the top 10 catchers ranked. Cal Raleigh made neither of these lists, but is now over 25 home runs for the season, which makes him the only catcher since Mike Piazza back in 1995 to 2002 to have 3 or more consecutive seasons of 25 or more home runs. That feels like something a top catcher in the league would do. So we asked Jason Churchill, hey, Church, why is Cal left off these top catcher lists?
Some folks just don't know what they're talking about. I mean, it's really easy to look around and say, all right, who's the best 10? And to not put Cal Raleigh, who's probably a top 3 or 4 catcher in Major League Baseball, in your entire top 10 is absolutely crazy. And it's defensive, offensive. I think a lot of folks are still using traditional statistics, and they might see Cal Raleigh's very low batting average and not understand that he does make up for some of that by getting on base, and he makes up for a lot of that by hitting a lot of home runs. And there might not be a better defensive catcher in Major League Baseball, not an everyday guy anyway.
I loved that answer for multiple reasons, not just because he points out how good Cal is defensively, but also just sometimes people don't know what they're talking about. Sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll fully admit that. But I really do think anyone leaving Cal out of a top 10 catcher list does not know what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's wild, man. When we're talking about catchers and OPS, he's top 5. We're talking about RBIs, he's number 2. Talk about home runs, he is number 1. And you know what? Stolen bases, baby.
Let's go.
He's number 2.
So what?
Let's go.
What?
So there are some things I think now there are going to be numbers that support people not supporting on Cal. You look at strikeouts, he got 134. Like that's a lot of strikeouts. Look at his average is not as good as some of the better hitting or for contact hitting catchers, but he's perfect for our team. He's one of the best defensive catchers, just like Church mentioned, and he hits bombs. He hits dingers. He drives runs in. That's what this team needs. This team doesn't need him to be a 300 average out there and hit for contact and just get on base and see what happens. No, we need him when the bases are loaded, when there are runners in scoring position, to drive the ball into the outfield or out the ballpark and produce runs, and he does exactly that while being an everyday guy behind the plate, which is hard to do, man. It's so tough on the body. So I think it's a product of being tucked away in the Northwest and not having that flashy, because we talk about flashy players, right? Look at those outfielders. They're like receivers, right? They're going to be flashy out there. And catchers got that flash to him as well. So he's the more humble, just show up to work type of guy, but he's getting it done and doing exactly what this team needs.
It just drives me crazy that we have moving goalposts when it comes to what we attach value to for offensive players. And a catcher, in this case, as an offensive player, we would attach value to home runs for any other position. if you're looking at the best shortstops, yeah, you're looking at defensive ability, of course, right? Like who's your Gold Glovers, but you're also attaching a premium to home runs. And you're doing that for everything. When you look at the best center fielders, yeah, defensive prowess, super important. Who's a Silver Slugger? Like, who's getting the most home runs? Cal, for the last 3 years, this year he's leading, and then he led in the last 2 years with like 32 and 30 or something like that. Led all catchers in home runs. Why are we not attaching a premium to that? And like, what other metrics is the baseball world using to really, truly evaluate the difference between catcher number 9 and catcher number 10 or 11?
Hey, what team did Piazza play for when he did that? 3 consecutive home runs? Was it my squad? Or
we
was
know
it?
the answer, Stacey.
It might have been the Mets. I don't know. It might have been the Mets.
I think it was the Dodgers.
Okay, it might have been the Mets. I wasn't sure. I needed clarification.
Stupid
thank you.
Dodgers.
Thank you. But yeah, show Kyle some love, please.
I know.
Immediately.
Okay, well, this led me naturally to another question because I so loved the beginning of Jason's answer.
Some folks just don't know what they're talking about.
I find myself thinking that about a lot of things.
Gosh.
And sometimes I am some folks. We have all been some folks.
We've all been some folks.
We've all been some folks.
Yeah.
I have, with full confidence, answered questions like in the affirmative, like, yes, you're right, when that was not the correct answer. But sometimes you just get on a roll with certain things.
You thought it was, though.
And I try to stay in my lane. Like, I'm not going to be X's and O's out here. But there are times when I get a little too confident and I go, yeah, you see, they were in quarters here and what you have. Like, I just, like sometimes you don't stay in your lane. So I figured I would make this a little fun. You can join on the Mac and Jack's text line if you want. What is something that you just always think to yourself, I swear to God, sometimes folks just don't know what they're talking about? Because this drives me crazy and people always get it wrong.
So easy. Such an easy one.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I am, this is the reason why I don't like watching football games with a lot of people. Like, I don't like watching them at bars. I don't like watching them at big Super Bowl parties.
Them in private?
I watched them with maybe 4 guys: Paul Moyer, Ray Roberts, Brian Walters, NASA Chobe. Curtis will be a part of that group this weekend. He's taking over for NASA this weekend. Big ups, Curtis.
Well, thanks for the invite.
And the reason why is because I trust their opinions. I know they know the game. So when I watch football with random people and they're, throw the ball.
Oh, that's my least favorite thing on the planet.
Throw the ball.
Throw the ball.
I go, excuse me, sir, are you watching the All 22 live? If so, give me the link because I would love to watch All 22 live. You don't know what safeties are doing, what linebackers are doing. His progression, there's something called a progression. The pre-snap read and the in-snap read tells a quarterback, this is where my progression is, 1 to 2 to 3 to dump off. He's going through his progressions. Sometimes he's waiting for that number 2 progression to open up. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And by the time you get to the check down, it's too late. It's a game of inches. And what do you do for those inches, Stacey?
You fight for that inch.
You claw for that inch. And
you find a man willing to go that inch with you.
Exactly. So
I don't know what to say, really.
I'm not saying there are times where quarterbacks don't hold on to the football.
Sure.
But just saying throw the ball.
Oh.
Where?
It makes you say.
Some folks just don't know what they're talking about.
I'm going to make a drop. Matt, we got to make a drop out of Churchill saying some folks just don't know what they're talking about. Curtis, what makes you can go outside of football if you want. What makes you say?
Some folks just don't know what they're talking about.
I'm kind of in that space with the Geno Smith haters where if you're clamoring for Sam Howell to start, he had a fine game against the Chargers. That's okay. But it was against the Chargers backups. And Sam Howell was a starting quarterback in the NFL last year and was nowhere near as good as Geno Smith. So what does him going from the Commanders to the Seahawks do other than just kind of change the uniform that he's wearing? Like, it's still the same Sam Howell, right? I mean, yeah, he's got better weapons to throw to, but at the end of the day, he's still he's the quarterback. Like, Geno Smith haters, I do not understand because the Seahawks are getting such a great value out of what his contract is. Now, could they have more talented quarterbacks if they decided to pay a quarterback more? Sure. I mean, that's kind of how it works. The highest paid quarterbacks are some of the more talented ones. There are other guys in there like Trevor Lawrence where you're kind of like, maybe not. But I just think that for what the Seahawks are paying, you are getting such a great value out of Geno Smith that if you are clamoring for Sam Howell right now, you don't know what you're talking about.
I love the idea of then pay more. It's like I saw a post trending on Reddit of someone who was looking for, I think they were looking in the San Francisco, Bay Area, basically. And they were like, I'm looking for a condo, maybe 3 bathrooms, 4 bedroom, ideally under $2,000 a month. And people were like, what? So it's like, Well, if you want, you could go get Dak Prescott, I guess. If you want to give him a contract, Dallas doesn't want to get him.
It's crazy when we hear some of these proposals. Remember for Vlade Dottie, people were saying, just give him like 2 prospects and Jonathan Clase and go get Vlade. It's like, that's not how that works.
253. I'm actually a behavioral scientist. Many folks don't know what they're talking about. Sometimes I'm that person. The armchair expert is the worst. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in terms of what I don't know about, I call on the Mariners to spend a lot more money than they're probably able to spend. So I'll admit that I'm probably armchair expert with that one.
Able? What are you asking them to spend?
No, I'm not asking them to be the Dodgers. I'm asking them to spend more, but I don't understand the intricacies of existing contracts and arbitration. So it's easier for me to look 3 years down the road with football or understand those contracts compared to baseball.
Yeah.
What I do get frustrated with would be, yes, quarterback play. And then, probably just how easy it is to win a Super Bowl. Like, there's no easy exact formula. So I get really bothered by be like Tom Brady and take less money. Like, it's so complicated to build a team that goes on to win a Super Bowl. And several of the last modern Super Bowls we've seen have been won by 2 guys.
Yeah.
With Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady accounting for a good chunk of those. So, or being represented in a good chunk of those.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of, or you know what? The idea that Russell Wilson wasn't good when he was here.
Oh
like Russell Wilson at his best, like 2015, 16, 17.
Get rid of DK. Can't handle all those penalties. Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
You want 14 out there. Trust me.
Yeah.
Some folks just don't know what they're talking about.
They just don't know. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. Any question, text it now.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
Tariq Woolen is in the studio with us. How different is it for you?
Other than just playing the left side and just getting the muscle memory and stuff like that. But other than that, it's been smooth. I've been having a lot of fun. It's probably my funnest camp so far. We got a genius as the head coach, so that I feel like that plays a good role as well. Just with his style of coaching and just having the whole team buy in. And we all football geniuses. That's what it feels like for real.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Simple, easy, fun. That's why Kia buyers from all over Washington choose Kia of Everett. With their dedicated team and great selection, they simply take better care of you. Go see Eric and the crew at Kia of Everett. Visit KiaofEverett.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Amanda. Over time, wearing glasses and contacts can be a bigger expense than having LASIK from King LASIK, the quick, painless, state-of-the-art way to see life better. And this month, save $1,000. Start with a free Zoom consult at kinglasik.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
the noon hour of the Bump and Stacy Show is powered every day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Other places make you pay extra for that, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from less. Book your appointment at leschwab.com. Terms and conditions apply. See leschwab.com for details.
Many homes throughout our area lack proper insulation in their attic and crawl space. Hi, this is Colin from Puget Sound Energy. At PSC, we want every home to be energy efficient, so we partnered with PSC recommended energy professionals like Crawl Pros to properly insulate attics and crawl spaces and bring them up to today's energy efficiency standards. If your home was built before 1990, you may be eligible for PSC rebates that cover up to 95% of your cost. Here's Richard Herron, the owner of Crawl Pros, for more information on how you can take advantage of these terrific rebates.
Thanks, Colin. These truly are the most aggressive utility rebates we've seen since Crawl Pros started working with PSE over a decade ago. Don't miss this opportunity to have PSE cover a large portion of your attic or crawl space insulation job. To take advantage of these programs, schedule your free estimate at crawlpros.com. We'll walk you through the rebate program your home qualifies for and get your attic or crawl space project scheduled immediately. That's crawlpros.com.
Collectors, Front Row Card Show is coming to Seattle. Join us at the DoubleTree Hotel SeaTac on August 17th and 18th. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, plus Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. SGC will be there. So bring your cards and comics to sell, trade, or get them graded. Hundreds of vendors, including pristine auction. Thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Card Show, DoubleTree Hotel SeaTac. Saturday and Sunday, August 17th and 18th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's What I Need to Know, brought to you by Cookies Country Chicken. Get your questions into the Mac and Jack's text line. Any question you have, any question top of mind, maybe you have a couple, text them to 866-979-3776.
Did you make a conscious effort to say that slowly? Do you feel like you say it too fast? Because you've never said it that slow.
When I'm looking for more text, in this case I have a couple, but I could use more, so I'm trying to say it slowly in case someone's like, oh, I didn't get the number.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
and then you always have people that are like my mom, where she types in text and does everything one finger at a time. So sometimes you just, you know what I mean? Like, how would I give it to my mom? I'd say 866-9, and then she'd go 8. 2 things I need to know, says one listener. Will they be able to sign Cal Raleigh long term? And is Victor Robles real?
I think the thing that scared me about Cal was the relationship with the organization. It felt like there was some friction there, right? But I think the vibes are good right now. And I think that if you can keep guys like Robles, and obviously you got Randy for, a couple, and you continue to show that you are invested in winning, yes, I think it's going to go down.
Cal being a Scott Boras client makes me a little bit nervous. And I think that having led the league in home runs, I'm assuming he'll end up leading the league in home runs this year as well. let's say he does it again, it makes it really difficult. I think you have a chance. Like, I think people see Scott Boras and they go, oh, no, wait, not happening. But I don't know that that is the end-all, be-all end. I do think it will be a hurdle, though. What I need to know, how'd you like that breakdancing at the Olympics?
Oh, man, Australia really showed us what it's supposed to look
ray
like.
gun?
We've been doing it wrong everywhere else. But in Australia,
right?
They got to figure it out. Here's the thing about that irks me about that. People critique so many things in sports, so many things, performances or whatnot. Just because this 36-year-old finagled her way through to the Olympics, it made her country just look ridiculous. We're not allowed to critique that performance. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. I had my hands over my face looking through two fingers as she's performing it. I'm like, this is bad.
I just think that crosses the sensitive thread. I'm a very sensitive person, and even I understand that if you've done something culturally, like no one's making fun of you as like truly at your core a human being or belittling you.
No.
You did something kind of embarrassing and people are laughing about it. It was a poor performance.
Yes.
It's like the girl that came out and butchered the national anthem and then some people were like, oh, she's entering into rehab. We shouldn't make fun of her. And it's like, hang on a minute. That was the worst national anthem I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm allowed to laugh about that. What I need to know. Bump. Brian Walters says he's a better golfer than you. What say you?
He is a better golfer than me. But here's the thing about golf. Something called a handicap. So when we do play, he's a 2. I'm an 11. He's got to give me 9. So I'm always in the mix. But yeah, he's B-Walt, man. Dad's from a country club.
He said he shot a 66.
He shot a 66? Yeah.
He said he shot a 66.
B Weezy's nice. Don't get
crazy.
it twisted. I've also seen him shoot 90 though. So B-Walt, don't trip. I'm coming.
253 says, everyone's clowning on that B-girl from Australia. While she did look silly and awkward, she represented where she was from and expressed herself the way she wanted. That takes guts. At the end of the day, hip-hop compelled her to do dance, and I can't be mad at it. That's hip-hop at its core.
Can we call her a B-girl, though, with how
gosh.
horrible her performance was?
If she...
Oh, man. She looked like...
B-girl to her.
She looked like a soccer mom who looked at 3 YouTube videos and said, I can do a couple of those.
But look, she's been doing this for years, though.
I know. That's the worst part about it.
Yeah. So
it's no, we're clowning. That was bad.
When I read that she was a professor of dance, I thought this was like a PhD thing that she was doing where it was like a scientific, like a social experiment that she took to the greatest stage, but that's not it. It is, in fact, a true entry, having won a championship where I think she beat like a couple people. I don't know.
It's not good.
Maybe we need to be concerned about breakdancing in Australia.
Breakdancing community in Australia, yeah.
What I need to know.
You think they spin the other way? Like their toilets do?
Can I tell you something that it just
Great
dawned
job
on
there,
me
Curtis.
Thank you.
that, and this is stupid. You can call me stupid. It's fine. I knew it, but didn't know that winter months in Australia were different, that this is their winter.
Mm-hmm.
Like south of the equator, it's wintertime right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fun fact. I don't know if everyone knew that.
Did Derek just tell you that?
I found out because there was actually very sad, a plane crash in Brazil, and they were like, oh, there might have been ice on the runway. And I was like, why?
Oh, no.
What's going on? I learn a lot at different times. I think it's nice that we can all learn at different times, and we can all, and you can never be too old to grow and learn. And I think that's what's
Always
important.
be growing and learning.
What I need
That's
to
what I
know,
say.
what are the odds Julio will get hot again by the end of the year?
It'll be hot tomorrow. Don't trip.
What I need to know, Stacy, could you beat her? No.
You compete. You will compete.
I could compete. I could compete.
You give it your all.
I think we'd be roughly the same. The moves you've seen her make are moves I could make. I don't think I would be limited.
There was
from doing those
nothing that
moves.
was like, how'd she do that?
Yeah. How did you make your body move that way? The one where she's on the ground and she does the jackknife thing.
Oh my God.
All the memes that have come from that of people being like, my kid being like, Mom, watch. I want to throw out a caveat that I may not know what I'm talking about, says one listener, but should the Seahawks go after Hassan Reddick if he's actually available?
Nah, leave him alone.
Fair question, but
we don't
no.
want that.
What I need to know, what would be a bigger win in this city? A World Series or a Super Bowl or a Stanley Cup?
World Series, for sure. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Super Bowl, we've done that.
Well, I think it's the
Done that.
emotional weight of a World Series. Like, NFL's king in this country, we know that. Most viewership, okay.
I think the NFL parade will be cracking.
Yeah.
But the energy would be just different for a World Series. It's a different kind of crowd, different emotions.
What I need to know, when is summer officially over?
September for me.
Labor Day.
September.
When pumpkin things are available in the store.
You know, my wife accidentally started growing pumpkins in our backyard.
What? What do you mean accidentally?
There's a whole story behind it. She planted the wrong seeds. She didn't have them labeled. I don't know what happened. We got pumpkins growing in our backyard right now.
I'm so excited for fall. Chris
Okay.
and Puyallup says, do you think they spin the other way in Australia? By Curtis is the greatest question of the day.
It is.
Truly, that
It is.
went over my head the first time, which will not surprise anyone.
I was wondering why she didn't give that its proper respect.
I did it.
I'm like, what's going on here? We moving on already?
I truly was just like, I was just autopilot, like, okay, Curtis, moving on. And then I thought, oh, because.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, the equator. I've learned so much about the equator in the last 48 hours, including right now.
Proud of you.
Is the equator why it spins a different way? Wait, does it actually spin a different
It's
way?
the axis.
I know. Can I go?
Get us out of here.
Yeah, what it says.
We're done.
Let's land this
We're
plane.
leaving now. Wyman and Bob coming up next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
Tariq Woolen is in the studio with us. How different is it for you?
Other than just playing the left side and just getting the muscle memory and stuff like that. But other than that, it's been smooth. I've been having a lot of fun. It's probably my funnest camp so far. You know, we got a genius as the head coach, so that I feel like that plays a good role as well. Just with his style of coaching and just having the whole team buy in. And we all football geniuses. That's what it feels like for real.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Lexus is electrified, and the first ever RZ450E has the performance and range to get you where you need to go. With the exclusive Lexus Direct 4 all-wheel drive technology, Lexus of Bellevue has over 50 RZs available for immediate delivery with electrifying savings. Up to $18,500 lease cash on every RZ450E. Visit LexusofBellevue.com.
On approval of credit through LFS, lease cash from Lexus available on select 2024 RZ styles. Must take delivery by September 3rd, 2024. A documentary service fee up to $200 may be added to the purchase price or capitalized costs. See dealership for details.
Have you recently tried to get a loan to buy a piece of real estate? Are you tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and their endless guidelines? Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Summer is here, and now's the time to break through those weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and we have a proven system that can help you lose weight and get healthy. No drugs, no side effects, no calorie counting, no exercise. Just teaching you the simple steps to become a fat-burning machine and keep it off long term. Remove the stress of trying to do this on your own and picture being down 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days with our help. At Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, we know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle changes. Schedule your free consultation online